10 years ago, when I was 21 almost, trying to figure out what should I do to make money. This stuff didn't exist. People weren't getting paid to be YouTubers. There wasn't this e-commerce stuff. Anyone can do it. And yet, 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. And so I did not make money 10 years ago. But today, literally, no one has excuse.
People only want to do business with people who are legitimate and are consistent. If you're not willing to follow up with the seller, you don't deserve to get that house.
So how did you pick real estate? Why real estate?
You know, man, my mom was a realtor for my whole life. And I saw her work, whenever she felt like it. But I had no interest in real estate. I actually wanted to be a baseball player. So grew up out here playing baseball, doing my thing. Got a college scholarship at Cal State Northridge. Went and played D1 baseball. Then I was fortunate enough to get drafted by the Oakland A's. So, got to play in the minor leagues for 8 seasons, and that was a lot of fun. But wasn't making no money in the minor leagues. I was making $1,200 a month. So I was forced into entrepreneurship. And real estate was just the one thing I could think of back then of oh, well, I guess I could do this on my own time. I don't need a job with somebody. And, in 2010, when I got drafted, it's not like there was all these jobs out there, It's I don't even know what I could have got a job at, and who's going to let me go leave 6 months out of the year when I'm trying to play baseball. So I was forced into it.
And then how long did it take you before you started getting it?
Oh, man. So when I was 21, this was back in 2010, as you know, living out here, prices were stupid cheap. By your studio, you could have got a house for $100,000. Stupid.
I'll tell you a story. Keep going.
Okay. So I started out as a realtor, and super hard to sell a house. I know you're a good closer, but I wasn't at the time. And no one had money. Everyone just got wrecked. They all got foreclosed on. They had bad credit. So I couldn't ever get buyers. Luckily, I sold a couple of homes, but I just hated it, dude. I just stopped doing it after a couple of years because I was tired of it.
And what year?
This was 2010. I probably stopped being a realtor around 2012. I kept my license, but I just wasn't trying to get clients or anything. So fast forward, I start doing other side hustles. I did a side hustle that got kind of famous on YouTube called couch flipping. And that was just by luck. I got married when I was young. My wife and I have been together 8 years now. She was 21. I was 24. I'm like, what am I going to do to make money for us? It ain't real estate. So we just furnished our apartment together. And I just sat there looking at it. I'm looking at the couch just like I'm looking at this one. And I said, I bet you, I bought that for $100. I bought it on Craigslist. I bet you I could sell it for $300-400. I got such a good deal on it. So I tested the theory. I bought another couch, sold it, made $200. I was like, if I just did this every day, I can make $6,000 a month. So guess what? Bought a truck on Craigslist for $1,500. Test the theory. I just start buying couches like a madman, dude. It was the easiest business ever. Grew that to $8,000 a month net profit as a side hustle. Got storage units, figured out how to post and find deals and do all this stuff. Probably flipped over 1,000 couches.
You figured it all out by yourself?
Yeah. So that was my first real business success and endeavor. But during that time, I'm like, dude, I'm not going to flip furniture my whole life. This is stupid. It was about that time I started listening to podcasts for the first time. And I came across this podcast called Bigger Pockets. And Bigger Pockets starts talking about how you can get real estate with no money. And I'm like, well, I got no money. This is cool. How do I do this? So in my mind as a realtor, it's you get a 30-year loan. You got to go buy them on the MLS. And that's just not the truth. I mean, there's so many ways to get deals not using your money, off market, and all these things. So that podcast changed my life because immediately after that, I went out and found my first deal that I was going to flip. This was 2015, early. Still didn't have money. Even though I was flipping couches, it was only 6 months out of the year because I was playing baseball. And I ended up maxing out my credit cards to cover the down payment on a hard money loan. And I was all in, that was $50,000. My wife and my credit cards. And thankfully it worked out. That first flip made $25,000. And I was like, this is it. This is the business for me. I'm good at finding deals. like, let's just go find a ton of these houses. And so that was our first one, 2015. Fast forward, we did 5 that year, scaled to 20 the next year, 50 the year after that. Been doing over 100 ever since.
You got a team?
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't find 100 by yourself, can you?
No.
And, but that's a relatively short time span, dude. It's only been 6 years.
Yeah. So this is our 7th year of doing it full time.
And just for the listeners, he's got a program that'll teach you. I don't know what it costs, but it's a video program, and you go through it, and then obviously you can join his coaching program. But you show people how to do this.
Yeah, if you just go to futureflipper.com, you can see all of our coaching programs and courses. But
zero money out of their pocket to buy a house.
You can flip with zero money. I mean, I thought it was a scam. That's why I never did it early on. I'd heard it as a realtor. People are like, "Oh, go get pre-foreclosures. Go get hard money loans and private lenders." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I just didn't know. But man, I mean, that's how I've made my career, is just to this day, I almost never use my own money when I flip houses, because we've figured out how to raise money. And then you can do other things where you don't even have to buy the house. You could wholesale and, just sell the contract and make a ton of money.
See, that's the thing I don't understand. I mean, I understand it, but I don't understand why everyone isn't doing that. It's door knocking.
You can door knock, lock up a contract, sell the contract to a guy like me, go make money.
Decent money.
Dude, I mean, there's wholesalers that make millions of dollars every year. They never buy a house.
Have you ever heard of a guy by the name of the Deed Hunter?
No.
This dude makes millions of dollars a year. All he does is all digital, looks online, bids on properties that are tax lien deficient or whatever. They're tax lien. And literally, dude, buys sight unseen properties for basically pennies on the dollar, and then turn around and sells those properties and makes money. Never even sees them.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 properties, one fell swoop. Because if you owe, let's say, $900 in taxes, they can literally snatch your house for that shit.
Yep.
I don't understand how the banks and everybody get screwed, but same reason you didn't understand, no money down crap doesn't mean it doesn't work. This guy's making it work. And yes, you can literally buy $1 million property for $900 sometimes. Is it every time? No, but that's why he's called the Deed Hunter. But if you get into a consistent rhythm, whether you're doing this or wholesaling or flipping or pretty much anything, if you know what you're doing, man, you can make a living.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen people make so much money in real estate in a variety of ways. I mean, you could be an agent, you could be a mortgage broker, you could be a flipper, wholesaler, the deed hunter. Like, they can all make millions of dollars.
Well, my whole question is, for realtors, if it's such a great deal, why don't they buy it?
Because they don't know the things we know about buying out. Like
I could bring you a deal and you'd pass. You might pass. Why? Why are you passing? And then I bring you a deal and you'd be like, shit, I'm on it. Well, why are you on that one? Like, what's the difference?
I mean, it's just value. I mean, it's really just a numbers game.
That's it.
When they ask us, what areas do you buy in? I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's literally, to me, an address. It's just a spreadsheet. If it makes money, we'll buy it. And that's how we look at the business,
But how do you know if the value's right?
I mean, it's just,
comps?
Yeah, learning to comp properties the right way. I tell people a big mistake with new investors is they get too speculative. Maybe the comps are 400,000. They're like, oh, but mine's going to be a lot better. It's going to get 430. It's like, no, you got to comp it at, you might get 430, but 400 is what you got to be at. Or they're overly optimistic on the rehab. They're like, I could get this done for 20,000. It's like, no, that's going to be a $30,000, $40,000 rehab. So
that's experience though, right?
It comes with experience. You're going to screw up. I mean, that's the reality of it.
Yeah. I found a really unique individual that will take a normal flipper situation that would not make sense. They turn it into, like, for example, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and now it makes sense.
Yeah.
He literally shows you how to use this architecting software to take a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, for example, and make it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and now it makes sense. Where if you ran the numbers without doing that, it would not make sense.
Yeah, one thing we look at is things like that, right? If it is a 2-bedroom, can we make it a 3? We always ask that question. Another thing we look at is, can we convert a garage and get additional living square footage? You're seeing this in Cali a lot because they have a new law with ADUs. And so they're all converting these garages to living space because price per square foot in Cali is crazy. But another thing we look at as well is, could we convert patios into living space? Are there any unpermitted things right now that don't show up on the assessor? Maybe it shows like, oh, it's a 1,500 square foot house. We'll walk it. And we're like, dude, this ain't 1,500 square feet. We can tell this got converted into square footage. And to get that square footage to count isn't that hard. So there's a lot of ways to get this hidden value.
This is part of the shit you teach.
Oh yeah.
And you're in the what, 7-8 figures now?
Man, in revenue, sure, we can. Depends how you want to count revenue with house flipping.
Like, what are you making?
Not 8 figures yet, but multiple 7.
Getting up there.
Yeah.
And you're a young man. Man. People say, oh, that you're doing like the Grant Cardone thing with your hedge fund, your investment capital opportunity. What are you calling that? Fund?
No, dude, we kind of stole it from Grants. Just Pineda Capital.
Just Pineda Capital.
Yeah.
You get a lot of Latinos.
You know what's funny is, so I'm half Filipino, half white. And a lot of people think I'm Latino. And whenever I do my events and stuff, we always have a very mixed crowd, and a lot of them are Filipinos because they know I'm Filipino. A lot of them are Latinos. And, there are white people too. But it's just, I thought about that one day because I've always saw myself as just like a normal dude. I wouldn't say I saw myself as like a white dude. I'm half white. But it's funny that...
Do I look like a white dude to you?
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like a white dude.
Yeah, because like I'm my grandmother's pure Spanish.
Really?
And my grandfather's pure Irish.
Okay.
Which would make my dad Irish and Spanish.
Uh-huh.
My mother is like a mutt, French, German, all this, which makes me a mutt technically. But,
right.
But most people wouldn't think that I am Spanish. I have Spanish.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
So that makes me Latino.
Well, there you go.
I thought Pineda was Latino. See, so therefore that shows you I'm a white guy.
I know.
Because I didn't even know Pineda was Filipino.
Well, the Spaniards actually conquered the Philippines. And so that's why there's so many Spaniard last names.
So, but you were born here.
Born in Vegas. My dad was born in the Philippines.
Yeah, so dude, you're freaking American.
Yeah, I consider when people are like, do you speak Tagalog? I'm like, dude, honestly, I'm white. Like, I grew up here.
But you would think, well, that's what I was asking. So the Filipinos that know you're Filipino, do you get a lot of loyalty from the tribe, as it were?
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, it's like Manny Pacquiao, man. Like, Filipinos love each other.
Because, so do Latinos. It's just familial, the culture they grew up in.
Hey, I'll tell them I'm Latino, man. I played with a lot of Latinos when I was playing baseball. I speak more Spanish than I do Tagalog.
Either way, you're speaking capital right now.
I guess that's what matters to them.
So Pineda Capital, do you have to have a bunch of rules for that? Like, can you teach someone how to set that up?
I don't know if there's like a rule with teaching people how to set up a fund. Actually, I think
because Grant did it, and he had lawyers, and for a while it was only accredited. Then he figured out how to get unaccredited, and I think he's back to just accredited.
Yeah, so we spent about 4 or 5 months with the lawyers to get it up and going, and ours is accredited only. If you're non-accredited, can't do anything. But yeah, our lawyer was like, hey, so it looks like you're trying to pretty much follow the path of Grant, right? You're going to make social media content. People are going to invest. Do you want to go for non-accredited? And I was like, well, what are the pros and cons of both? He said, well, going the accredited route is way easier. We can get you done here in a couple of months and you're ready to go. If you want to go non-accredited, it's way harder. You got to go through all this regulation, blah, blah, blah. It could take over a year. And he's like, honestly, this is what is getting Grant the most trouble is the non-accrediteds, because when somebody invests their only $1,000 with you, they're going to treat it so much more than the guy who invests $1 million with you. And he's like, whatever, dude, like just go make it. It's weird that it works that way, but it does. And I was like, then I don't want non-accredited. Like, I don't want to deal with that headache. So
yeah, good choice on that.
Yeah. And it seems like Grant learned that lesson too, if he went back to accredited.
I think, I don't know. I don't talk to him as much as I used to, but I did talk to him once, and his trouble was coming from the non-accredited thing because of the same reason. I mean, dude, if I give you my only $10,000 and one little thing happens, I need my $10,000. You're not giving it back. You already told me it's a 5-year deal or a 7-year deal. I signed something legal. You've got lawyers. I don't. I start raising a freaking stink. What, dude, I could smear your name, make you look like an asshole over what? Because my freaking job fell through and I need my 10 grand back.
Yep.
I just don't think it's worth it.
No.
But it's sad because those are the people that need it.
Yeah, because they don't know how to invest. And so it actually would be good for them. But like you mentioned, they will cause the most headache.
Yeah. Well, I see why Grant tried to help the unaccredited. But and not only that, there's more of them.
Right.
So Grant's also not stupid. Like
he's going to raise more money doing that.
Well, he realized, dude, if I can get $50 from 1 billion people, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
But, Grant obviously crushed it. You're crushing it, and you're just getting started. So 3 to 5 years, man. What should people do if they want to invest in you?
You can just go to PinedaCapital.com, apply. Easy.
And I'm just plugging these little things along the way because sometimes my listeners get pissed if I don't tell them how to do business with the dude they're listening to. So you got a book or anything?
Yeah, I wrote a book 3 years ago called Flip Your Future. And ironically, I wrote that book. I never even talk about it. I forget I wrote it because we got all these other things going on. But the reason I wrote that book was I got kind of tired of everyone always asking, how do you flip houses? How are you doing it? And before that, I was explaining it to all my friends. And I'm like, okay, so this is what you do. And it took forever. I'm like, man, if I could just make a guide, this would be so easy. This was before I ever had a course, a coaching, or anything. So I started with the book as just simply, I got tired of answering questions and I wanted to make it just super simple. But the book has been great, man. It's sold thousands and it's been a bestseller in real estate. So,
well, people will go get your book after listening to this. But let me pick your brain briefly and bring you back to the old aggravating days of explaining it, but briefly. So in my mind, because I've never flipped houses, first thing you got to do is find the son of a bitches.
That's the hardest part.
So how do you, real quickly and succinctly, not like detail, how do you find the bitches?
In the brief way of saying it, there's 3 ways to find deals. The MLS, direct-to-seller marketing, or from wholesalers, who we talked about earlier. So with the MLS, I used to get a ton of deals in the MLS. We still do, but it's a lot more competitive now. There's nothing for sale, right? So if your whole strategy was the MLS, you're probably not doing that great anymore. Direct to seller is one that will always work. If you're going direct,
knocking?
There's no middleman. What?
Is that door knocking?
Door knocking's a form, cold calling, texting. I run TV commercials here in Vegas. PPC.
We Buy Ugly Houses type of thing?
Yep. So everything, billboards, what they're doing.
Who started We Buy Ugly Houses?
Well, the company behind them is called Homevestors, and
What are those signs called?
What do you mean?
There's a thing that they call that in the industry when you stick up the signs.
Bandit signs.
Bandit signs.
Yeah. So
do they still work?
I've tried them. I've never had success, but this is what I tell our students when it comes to direct marketing. It's going to depend on your market, right? So bandit signs would probably work really good in Detroit and lower income markets. They ain't going to work in San Fran, So it all depends, and it also depends on your budget. I run probably, for the last year, we ran about $30,000 a month in TV commercials, and now we're running about $60,000 a month. Not everyone can go run a TV commercial. Nobody knows how to buy ad spots. Nobody knows how to film a commercial that works and all this stuff.
Local,
yeah. Do you watch TV?
Not really.
That's why you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I watch Netflix and Justify. I watch TV, but not like local channels or anything.
So think about this.
Does anyone watch TV anymore?
People who want to sell their house do.
Like fucking normal TV?
Normal TV, dude. Cable.
Do you
or not
watch,
cable. I mean, local TV.
Even cable's not TV anymore.
No, we like we're advertising on the news. The news is the biggest one for sure.
What did you produce your ad or did you hire an agency?
We hired an agency. We've been using the same ad for a year and a half. Never changed it.
Crushing it.
It just crushes.
Leads come in, your team calls, and boom.
Closer calls, and it's done. But when you think about this, like we also do TV commercials on like Jerry Springer and Maury, because think about who's watching that, right? You got to know your demographic.
Indeed. Okay, so you got to find them, and I'm just thinking through in my head now. So MLS, direct to seller, wholesaler.
Yep, wholesalers.
Just get to know some.
Just got to build relationships.
Tell people you're in the business, you're getting into the business. Hey, if you have any deals, bring them to me.
Yep.
Which is what I'm starting to do.
Yep.
Like someone just brought me a deal, $11 million, I think 184 units, 2.2 million down, average square foot, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, is this a good deal? Is this a bad deal? Like, shit, I don't know. I want to buy it because like, dude, now I got an apartment building. It's only 2.2 million down.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? What am I looking for? Well, shit, how much was the rent roll? Well, it's a new unit or a new property. Like, see, because like when I asked Grant that, he goes, dude, just look at the fucking rent roll, man. It'll tell you what it's been making for the last 3 years.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes, if it's cash flowing, you buy the bitch. But there's no rent on this one yet. It's brand new. How do you do that?
I mean, you're going to just go on projections. There's nothing you can do.
You just hope. Would you buy a brand new building?
If the numbers were right. I mean, your deal in particular, the way that I would look at it is, number one, I would see, okay, what are similar buildings renting for, right? So we try and make projections based on that. Then you can figure out the net operating income, right? Then you figure out, okay, what are things trading at cap rate wise?
If I show you the deal, will you give me a free evaluation?
Yeah, we can go check it out after this. But another thing to look at too, just like simply, is what are properties going for on the apartment side per door, right? This one's 100 and how many units you said?
I think 186 units.
So 11 million divided by 186, that's around what? 50 something a door.
I'll tell you in 5 seconds.
And what market is it in?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
And it's like, right, because I know someone from there. They go, oh yeah, that's a really good spot.
I'm a Packers fan, so I'm with them.
What got you started in it?
Honestly, I stumbled into it. So my first deal, I was broke. I was, got into entrepreneurship. I'm supposed to be a doctor. I'm Indian, right? I'm born to be a doctor, but I didn't want to do that shit. I got into entrepreneurship, started in a media company, selling websites. That was bullshit. And from there, I had proximity to a person who was in real estate, and they were building these duplexes, knocking down old houses, building duplexes. And I'm listening to these guys talk about these projects they're working on, making $160,000. Meanwhile, I'm literally scrambling for crumbs.
Yeah.
I asked how I can get involved, and they really couldn't see a place for me, but I saw a need because they were talking about needing more building lots. So the next morning, I'm walking my dog, and I come across a house for rent. And I call the line and I asked the lady if she'd be interested in selling the house instead of renting the house. I'd seen that house for rent for 3 months. I actually tried to rent the house 3 months earlier, but it was $200 a month out of my budget. Just to give you a frame of how broke I was. $200 made a difference.
How about your credit? How was your credit?
My credit was shit. Because when I got to college, the first thing they did is they set up all those credit card stands, all the tables there, and I got every credit card and I didn't pay any of them. So my credit was shit. I got an 850 now, but at that point I didn't.
Damn.
So
how important is credit?
It's so important.
Not that I don't use it. Not that I want to derail this story.
It's important. Look, credit's important for the general layman.
No, it's important for fucking life.
It's important. I don't use it.
They should be teaching that shit in school.
They should. They should be 100%.
Dude, I had to go through shit credit for a while.
Yep.
I got a credit card at a clothing store, and I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you can use that for up to $1,000. I think they gave me $1,500 worth of clothes. And I'm like, sure. So I went and picked out $1,500 worth of clothes.
Do you remember the store was?
Yeah, it was called Bon Marché.
Oh, I remember that place.
The Bon Marché.
The Bon Marché, yeah.
Yeah, so I got a bunch of kick-ass clothes and then couldn't pay the bill. And no one ever taught me about credit. Very important. Just wanted to point that out for these listeners because let me tell you something. you get your credit in order, your life goes a whole lot more
100%
successfully.
Absolutely.
So back, you had shit credit, no money. This guy said the building, and you're walking. The lady rented you the house. Then what?
Yeah,
wanted to.
She wanted to rent the house, but I couldn't afford it 3 months earlier. But I called her and I just asked if she'd be interested in selling it. And 3 months had passed. She didn't know who the hell I was when I called again, And she said, sure, if the number was right. And I asked, what would that number be? This is on this call, just like this. It's like 350,000 would do it. So I run my ass back over to the office and I asked my business partner how much his dad would buy that house for. He said 400 grand all day. So what most people would do, they'd say, okay, well, I can get it for 350. Give me, $500 or $1,000. But I didn't think like that. What I thought is, how do I buy this shit and sell it to them and make the 50?
Yeah.
So I did what I knew how to do, which was cold call. I get into the yellow pages and I start cold calling lawyers. And I get all the way to the letter S. David Steed, this one lawyer who was so fresh out of law school, he answered his own phone. He didn't have a secretary yet. And I told him what the situation was. I'm like, look, I got this house. I can buy it for $350,000. I can sell it for $400,000. I don't know how to do this.
Dude, it sounds like you fucking invented wholesaling.
Oh, that's what I thought I did. I thought I invented wholesaling.
Dude, maybe
right?
you did.
Thing is Carlton Sheets was already doing it in the United States. I did this in Canada. My first deal was in Canada.
Did you ever go back through the Carlton Sheets program?
No, I didn't.
How do we know that Carlton Sheets was actually teaching the real shit?
I don't know. I have
didn't
no
a bunch of those fucking buy shit for no money down people go to jail?
Yeah.
For what? When it was totally possible.
Because the judge couldn't do it. That's why.
So you went, obviously you put two and two together and you figured out a lawyer to make a contract.
Correct.
You got the lady to do it.
Yep. I put her on a contract.
How'd you close her?
So she just said, if you can give me a contract for $350,000, I'll sell it. So I do the contract. Now I had to
but somewhere in the contract says you ain't actually getting it for 90 days or 30 days.
No. So you know how typically real estate contracts are, you've got a little inspection period and then you got a conveyancing time and then close, right? And this house was vacant. She didn't have an occupant in there. She needed to kick out or nothing. It could have been done in as quick a period of time as the lawyer could get the job done. And he got this deal done in 2 weeks. Like, it was fast. And in Canada, for things to get done in 2 weeks, that's quick.
Okay, this was in Canada.
Yes, sir.
You're a Canadian?
I'm dual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know why Canadians say A after everything?
I hear it.
Why? Why do they say A after everything?
It's because they're asking you if it's right.
No, it's because of the way the country's spelled.
Canada?
Yeah, Canada.
Oh, that's fun. That's a good one, Brad.
So he whipped up a contract.
Yeah, he whipped up a contract. And it was interesting, right? Because when you're wholesaling, you're not taking title to anything.
Now you didn't do it before this.
No, I'd never done anything.
And you don't even realize you're wholesaling right now.
No. In fact, back then, we called it a skip transfer. That's the legal term in Canada for an assignment of a contract. Is a skip transfer.
Okay, sounds dramatic.
Yeah, skip transfer. So I'm doing the skip transfer, and I'm literally just selling my right to buy a house. That's it. That's all wholesaling is you're selling the right to buy a house.
Yeah.
And I make millions of dollars a month selling my rights to buy many, many, many houses.
Well, yeah, but when I first started hearing about wholesaling, I thought to myself, well, shit, dude, I should be doing that too.
Why not?
Because again, the question is where's the fucking houses? Right now, if anyone's listening, I'll buy any fucking house with a signature zero down. Like, let's go. Yeah. I'll buy your shit tomorrow. And then if it doesn't sell in 60 days when I'm supposed to have you paid, what happens?
Well, here's the deal. You're right about that. There's an ethical and an unethical way to wholesale, right? You can string people along and you can feed them a line of bullshit and you can say, hey, I'm putting your house under contract because I'm trying to buy it. And then 60 days later, they're in a U-Haul and nothing happens. That's bullshit.
Well, I know, but like I would wholesale with the intention of telling the customer, I'm not buying it. I'm going to get you to sign this. And as soon as you sign it, I'm going to say, now I got a dude over here that's going to give me $950.
Yeah.
You just got fucked out of 150. No.
Well, see, Brad, here's the thing.
I'm just busting your chops.
That person didn't have the person who had 950.
No,
so
I know.
It's never fucking.
I don't want anybody to get like the wrong idea. I'm just busting your chops because that's funny. But at the end of the day, if I can go to a guy that says he'll sell me a house for $300,000 and he'll sign a contract and I can flip it before that money's due. Because a lot of these wholesalers, they're broke, dude. They ain't got no money.
That's correct.
They're rushing
Yes.
They're saying, give me the rights to buy your house or give me 90 days to basically pay you.
Correct.
I think I've
Correct.
never looked into it, but I'm assuming.
Yes.
And then they got to go find someone to buy it within 90 days.
Usually
and if
it's
they
30.
Do, they get a piece.
It's even it's less time than that. Yeah, they get that. They get the difference between.
That's brilliant.
It's brilliant. Yeah. 100%.
The question is, where's the inventory? How do you find it?
Well, here's the beautiful thing, right? We're hearing all these stories on the news of there being a housing inventory crunch and there's no houses and that's why real estate's so expensive. And, you know, there's people are paying $100,000 over ask and closing with cash and okay, cool. But
how is that happening, by the way?
Well, it's because there's just no inventory, right? We had a,
I know, but how does it seem like everybody's got money right now?
They do. Well, a lot of the money is coming from states that had really high real estate values and they're cashing out and they're coming to Nevada, they're coming to Arizona, they're going to Texas. And to them, they're like, wow, I just sold my piece of shit in Compton for $900,000 and now I can live in Henderson for $8,000. I can buy that with cash.
Where do you think the best property values are right now?
Everywhere.
Have you seen Texas?
It's amazing.
Dude.
But it's no better than Nevada. It's no better than Arizona.
I'm looking at a house in Nashville one time. It was like 3 to 4 million. We went back and looked at it. Not even a year later, it was $10 million. Wow. I'm like, dude, I ain't buying that bullshit. That's no freaking possibility. So then I look at a house in Rockwall, Texas that was 4 times this house. And I'm like, my wife sends me houses she wants. And I click on the link. I'm like, no way, because there's a mansion, dude. Yeah. Unbelievable. It was $4 million.
Beautiful.
It was 4 times as big.
Right.
Is Texas the deal?
Texas is great.
Is there any other secret honey holes?
Yeah. If you want a secret honey hole, go buy something near the water in North Carolina, bro. Like you can live in North Carolina.
What about Vero Beach?
I haven't studied it.
I got a piece of property 1 block off the beach in Vero Beach, Florida.
I mean, 1 block off the beach. How are you going to go wrong? You can't.
Well, it wasn't a sub-2 or it wasn't a wholesale. It was a freaking gift.
What did you do to get that gift, Brad?
I gave him a little piece of something.
Awesome.
Little piece of a deal. I swapped it.
There you go.
But it's because it was 1 block off the beach. I haven't seen it yet, though. I am going to get into real estate. If I'm going to get into real estate, should I start wholesaling first? What's someone that without a lot of money should do if they want to get into real estate?
100% they start with wholesale. But before you go out and start putting homeowners under contract, guys, I want to answer one question for you because you said, where's the inventory coming?
Yeah, and also, if we were saying something before, because people are going to kill me because when I interrupt like this, I hear it in the comments.
Yeah.
But it's because me and you were having a conversation. I forget that this is even happened. And then I remember, oh yeah, that's a good lesson. And I try to go back and forth. So if I stop you, continue the story. I want to hear that story.
I'll take us back because you asked a question and I think it's important that people who understand this, you said, where's this inventory coming from? And the facts are is there's 15 million vacant houses right now in the United States that are not being counted in this inventory crunch. 15 million vacant houses, Brad. Houses that are just sitting there. Landlords who just don't care. People who inherited homes, crackheads, all kinds of stuff going on out there. Like you don't understand what is happening in this subsection of the real estate market. There's a whole secondary market. Brad, do you buy your cars off a car lot?
Yes.
You do? You're fucking up.
Why?
I'm going to introduce you to a car broker, okay?
A car broker has to go to a dealer.
A car broker is a dealer, okay?
No.
Well, the broker that I buy from, he's a dealer and licensed in Oregon, okay? Yeah, I want any car.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, with dealership agreements, it doesn't work that way.
He gets me any car I want.
That's because he's got relationships and he's just leveraging them.
But there's a new,
but you can't get it any cheaper than I can.
I'd love to test it.
Okay,
I'd love to test that.
Go tell him right now. 2022 F8 Ferrari.
I'm in it. Let's go.
Call him.
Should we call him on the line?
Yeah, tell him how much for me.
Somebody give me my phone.
You know what he'll say? I can't get you that fucking car.
Well, maybe he will. But
he will.
Let's see. Let's see what he says.
But yet you go downstairs, there's one. Suck a fish I just got at a car dealership. Why? Well, number one, I knew the owners, but that's not why. It's because you have to order the car from Ferrari.
So he'd order it for you. He'd order it for you.
Not that one.
What's the car?
F8 2022. Tributo. Just a new one. Anywhere in the country. And by the way,
I hope he answers his phone.
If he'll sell it to me.
Hey, Jamil.
Alan, how are you, brother?
I'm okay. Hey, I would love to talk to you. I've got someone on the phone, and I'm running late to get to a softball game, but could I call you later tonight?
Yes, 1 second though. Can you get me what's the car?
F8.
A Ferrari F8 2022?
An F8?
Yes.
22. I don't know if there's any 22s on the market. Maybe.
So it's not a no. I'll call you back. Call,
okay.
Let's talk tonight. Bye.
Yeah. That's a polite dude.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on a softball. So if he can get one, by the way, for real,
yeah,
we can flip that.
Let's go.
Because right now you can only buy them for MSRP at a dealership.
Yes.
If you don't get it from the dealership, you can't buy it for MSRP. So if this guy can pull a string or two, get it from a dealership for MSRP, any Ferrari for that matter, for MSRP, you can turn around and sell it for 100 or 200,000. Like right now, I just bought my car for 360. I could sell it for 500.
Awesome.
Why? Because you can't get them.
Because you can't get them. Yeah.
Right. So that's.
Yeah. There's always, and just like I'm buying houses that people can't get, and then I can flip them. See what's happening.
But people can get them. They just didn't find them.
Right. But just like people can't find these Ferraris, if you got a guy, you can find it.
But if you got dumped off, let's say in Vegas, nobody knew you don't have social media, and you just had to start knocking on doors to find a deal.
I'd be able to do it in a day.
What do you do when you knock on the door?
I wouldn't knock on homeowners' doors.
What would you do?
That's for crazy people. I would start knocking on real estate agents' doors. I would get a list of realtors, and I would call them up, and I'd say, "Hey, lady with the Louboutins, you know how that last house you went to that you had to throw your shoes away after you went into there because it stunk so bad and there was shit everywhere, and you didn't want to sell it because it was so low priced at your 3%, it wasn't worth your fucking time? I'm your buyer. And not only am I your buyer for that, but I'm going to triple your commission. Whatever you would have made on that, I'm going to pay you 3 times. Just give me that deal. Don't put that thing on the MLS. Give it to me. Let me pay you. Tell your client they don't have to pay you. I'll pay you. And I do that all day long.
So you just bird dog realtors.
100%. That's one of my strategies. I got lots of them. We can do this for days.
But that would work, just that?
Yeah, 100%. If you sat down and you called 50 realtors and you actually talked to 50 realtors every day for 30 days, you would make at minimum 3 deals. And each of my deals make me about 15 grand.
And what are you saying to them? If you run across any shitholes that you don't want to sell, I'll buy them?
Yes. Stuff that is unfinanceable, right? Here's the deal.
But why are they listing shitholes to begin with?
Well, because somebody called them. Somebody called them and said, "Hey, I got this property. It's so gross."
That's how easy listings are nowadays?
It can be if you're the right agent.
Damn. See, I got the wrong education by real estate. I thought getting listings was difficult.
For dummies. Sorry for any of you guys that are there right now that you don't have listings. I didn't mean that. But for dummies, it's hard. Yes. Okay.
How come you don't just go target all the realtors in the world and say, "Hey guys, just follow me and let me show you what I'm doing"?
I have 115 franchises in the United States. I am doing that. I am.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, bro.
So you're showing everybody how to wholesale successfully.
Yes, sir.
Dude, anybody listening to this can hit you up. Where do they hit you up?
Not only hit me up, I'll back them financially. At JDamji on Instagram, YouTube, youtube.com/JamilDamji, JamilDamji.
Dude, you're going to get blown up for that.
Let's go. I'll back them. That's what I do. See, this is the thing. I'm tired of these little cats running around putting people under contract that aren't financially backed. That's bullshit. That's a lie. That's fraud. Okay, I don't want them to do that. Come to one of my franchises. Come to me. I'll back you. I'll give you a proof of funds. I've got millions of dollars. I can close on these things.
So basically, they walk up and now they are buyers of the house.
Yes, this is what it is.
Just a buyer representative of you.
Exactly.
Do they make a commission or do they
not
make
a commission?
the gap?
We got to be careful about the terms we use because I'm the principal in the deal, and I'll let them be the principal in the deal for a moment, but then they'll sign over that right to me so that I can buy it.
You give them a bird dog?
I give them their assignment fee.
Ah.
Yes.
See, smart. Assignment fees. Dude, I wish I had half the knowledge you have. I'd go out and freaking do it part-time.
I'm happy to hang out with you, Brad, and show you exactly what we do. And you would,
dude, I'm gonna start texting you. I already texted you.
I know
we got
you
a building.
I know. I went to see your building, bro. I was there.
I don't even know what it's worth or what it is, but I know we got one.
It's insane. It's huge. It's this big seller finance deal that I actually
it makes me
walked
sound
it.
cool too, Pace, because I can say, yeah, I own a commercial property in Duluth, Georgia, or where is it?
Duluth, Dalton. It's right
Dalton
by.
Sounds cooler than Duluth anyway.
It's right by where they make all the carpet.
Dalton, Georgia. Got a little commercial property down there.
Yep.
Well, what is it? I don't know.
It's a hardware store.
Never been there.
I've been there. It's a hardware store.
Now, what if someone stops renting that place?
If somebody stops renting that place, find another use for it. I mean, really? Right? Come on.
You guys are funny. Dude, listen, I'm going to start dropping a few bombs every week about it just to drive traffic.
Let's go.
Because all I said on that podcast with you was, tell me if you have something. That dude freaking texted me that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to make anything out of it without you.
Well, now you've got me.
Yeah, but like, well, thank you.
Yes.
But my point is like, that's why it's important to have the knowledge. Because again, I could get all the freaking deals in the world and not know what to do with them. The value is knowing what to do with them.
Yes, sir. Dispositions.
Like, hey, I got a house here. Okay. Now what? Well, I don't fucking know. Exactly. So it's to you worthless. So give it to me. And let me show you how you turn this into like 50K real quick.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a little piece for your niece.
We play house hockey, bro. You pass to Brad. Brad passes Jamil. Scores!
All right. So what kind of leads are we looking for?
I mean, we're looking for shit, guys. Your aunt smokes some crack, call Brad. Your aunt does heroin, call Brad. You got your aunt died. She gave you the house, call Brad.
Hey, any shitholes in the country. Hey, is this about the signs that used to say we buy ugly houses?
Yeah, bro.
Is that why it said ugly houses?
Yeah, bro.
Shut up.
We buy
Tell
your
the truth.
problems. I'm telling you.
Those weren't your signs, were they?
No, hell no. That's an unnamed company that I'm not affiliated with them. They're cool. But my company, Keeglee,
What's it called?
Keeglee. Yeah, like, and I know your thing.
Like
I know
Key Happiness.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't say Kegels, but yes, Keeglee. I looked at your
Keeglee.
face and I'm like, this motherfucker's. I know exactly what he's thinking right now, but it's all
No, I
good.
wanted to make sure I was hearing glee.
Keeglee. Yeah, it's like, give me your keys, I'll give you some happiness. It's exactly what you thought.
Keeglee.
Keeglee. Yeah, you're like, isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? It is cute. I'll tell you how cute it is. It's $30 million a year cute.
And when did you start that?
2016. But I've been wholesaling
See, that
a long
was
time.
like a couple years ago.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah.
And right before then, did you have loot to start that or no?
Well, I was wholesaling.
Oh yeah, go back to your story.
Yeah,
So you got the house.
got the house.
You made the 50K.
I made 47 after I paid the attorney.
And then what'd you say to your employer?
Oh, I was my employer, right? I was selling websites for $600.
Okay, so you said fuck that.
I was like, fuck this. Actually, what really happened is the girl I was dating stole that company from me, and I was like, you can have it because I had money now.
Okay, but now you randomly ran across that.
Yes.
Now you got to go find another one. How'd you
Because
do
here's
that?
my proof of concept, right? I know that I can call for rents. So then I just get the newspaper because this is like early days internet. There's no
but
like classifieds.
sometimes when you're calling for rents, are you talking to the owner or are you talking to some?
A lot of time I was talking to the owner because this is Canada, they don't have like these big property management companies and I'm calling houses for rent and it's just George or Carol picking up the phone.
Will that work today?
Hell yeah. I call people off Zillow all the time. There's somebody in my office whose job it is to call tired landlords.
Do you own the home you're renting?
Of course.
Because what if it's some property manager?
If it's a property, we know if it's a property manager because they have to identify themselves as a realtor, right?
Why? Is that like a police officer rule?
It's just that's their job. They have to disclose.
Realtors have to disclose
They
their
have to
realtors.
disclose their realtors.
So from now on, when I'm at a freaking function, I can walk up and say, are you a realtor or not?
And they'll be like, yeah, I am. Fuck.
What if they say they're not and I find out they are?
Then they got to give you like, I don't know. They give you their firstborn or something. I don't know. They give you their PIN. That's what they give you. They have to give you their PIN. Yeah, they can get in trouble. They got errors and omissions insurance, and that's an omission.
Hey, what about pictures on their business cards?
Those are that's realtor pictures on business cards are probably my most like hilarious thing that I ever see. Because when you meet them in person, right, it's always like, did you eat this person? Did you eat the person on the business card? Because you're not them anymore. You're like, what is this? Is this your daughter?
Who started that though?
Who started that?
Why the pictures on the business card?
I don't know. I think it was, people feel it's such a big transaction, right? And this adage of people will do business with those they know, like, and trust, right? So you see a face and, you look at you, like you look at you like, I like that guy. I don't fucking know anything about you, but I look at you and I like you. Right? And that's a normal thing that humans do. So I think realtors put their faces on business cards because they're like, look at me. You like me? Call me.
Well, and some of them I've seen shouldn't have done that.
Yes, and that's it. That's why their phone's not ringing.
Some of them I've seen is like, that's why we're not calling you. But go back to the story. I don't want to get on a real estate thing. I want to talk about the wholesaling, because what I'm trying to do, if people are listening, is piece together how someone here could literally get off this episode, go out and start knocking on doors and emulate what you did. Because I believe when people are trying to get certain results in life, all they have to do is emulate what the person that already got them did.
Right.
You want to work out, emulate what they did. You know, if you want to get in shape, if you want to be a wholesaler, if you want to, you know, be a politician, whatever you are, figure out who it is you're trying to be like, who did it first, and then emulate what they did. So that's what I'm trying to pull out of you.
Yeah. So, you know, calling realtors was absolutely works, right? You're calling realtors and you're saying
that's to find inventory.
You find inventory, right? And then,
but first go back to your story, because you got the house, you made 47 grand.
Right.
You told your chick to pound sand because she stole your company.
Yep.
You didn't care.
I didn't care.
You had to go out and get your next one.
Yeah. So I'd get the newspaper, I'd call the classifieds, and I'd just call all the for rents.
And what would you say to them?
It's just, hey, I'm saw you have a house for rent. And this is when I would do them. I'd call them the 5th of the month. Like from the 5th to the 15th of the month was my perfect time, because this is like the pain time for a landlord, because the house didn't get rented. Well, the house didn't get rented the month before.
Well, not only that, but the payments do.
Yeah, payments do.
Right?
It's just like it's a hard time, right? And they'll actually entertain the thought of selling. They'll entertain the thought. That's all I need is an entertainment.
But what if, like in nowadays, it's kicking ass and taking names?
Even then, there's just because retail inventory, beautiful houses are hard to find. That doesn't mean that
they're not.
There's an inventory crunch for move-in ready homes.
Yeah,
That's
like I had a
fact.
buddy of mine come out here. He was looking to spend up to $2 million.
Yeah.
It took him like 4 months to find a house.
Yeah.
Every time he found a house, he'd say, "Okay, I'll take it," and then someone else offered
Overbid.
more, and they'd sell it out from underneath him.
Just like I said, there is an inventory crunch for beautiful homes. There's not an inventory crunch for ugly shit.
So if I'm a homeowner, why with that kind of market do I gotta?
Here's the deal.
Let you buy it.
If you're a homeowner, look at your house right now. Do you see a cockroach? Call Jamil.
Yeah. So I got two things to ask you. So I have a house in Lapine, Oregon.
Okay.
Just got an appraisal. It's 320 appraisal. It's a little, I think it's even a double wide on a 1 acre slab in Lapine, Oregon. Beautiful country, by the way.
Yeah.
But I own it free and clear. What do I do with it?
You?
Yeah.
How did you get it?
Inheritance.
You got an inheritance. Okay, great. So a guy like you that's busy, I doubt you want to manage that property.
I do not.
Okay, so what you would normally do is you would seller finance that. Okay, so you become the bank. So you go out on Craigslist or Facebook.
But I want the $320,000.
Like right now?
Why wouldn't I?
Because if you have $320,000, what are you going to do with $320,000?
Myself personally?
Yeah, you ain't going to do shit with that.
I'd probably put it in tax liens or.
Okay. You could make way more money bearing interest on that 320 and seller financing that to somebody else that moves in there, and you be the bank. So let's say 320, you got appraised at 320. Here's what's great about seller finance. You can go and sell that to somebody for 379 and say, I as the seller will finance you at 379. You give me 25 grand down as security, and I'll give it to you at 6.5% interest or 7.5% interest.
Do you quick claim it into their names?
Yep. Well, you don't do a quick claim. You actually go through title, and you give them a warranty deed is what it's called. So quick claim deed.
So technically they would own it.
They would be the owner. You would be the bank.
But if they default, you take it back.
There you go. So
what if they destroy it, pour cement down the toilets and stupid shit?
No, that's happened. It does happen.
Then what happens?
You go and fix it and do it again.
So you just get dinged a little bit.
You get dinged a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, another one. Someone calls up, says beautiful home in Palm Springs. You might even recognize.
I would
this.
never get rid of that property.
Well, I know, but this is a real property right now.
Okay.
I think she even mentioned our episode, or maybe she's a student of yours. I don't know. But she asked me, and I'm like, well, first I'm thinking, why isn't she calling you? Why is she calling me with this?
Because you're way better looking, dude.
Well, she called me with it. I can look up the DM, and I said, well, what are the terms? Apparently, it's a house that comps in the neighborhood are going for 8 or 9 million. Mm-hmm. This one, the guy will sell for 4 million, or the lady will sell for 4 million.
Interesting.
she'll do seller financing. And I said, well, what are the terms? She said 1.9 million down to get her out.
Not a deal.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, fuck. See, this doesn't work.
Not a deal.
Where's the 0, 0, 0 deal?
Well, they're not all 0, 0, 0 deals. But that, bro, 50% down. I can go to a bank and get a 30% down deal, right? Why would I do that deal with her? Doesn't make any sense. And the thing for me too is that every time I buy a house, I want to use as
that's probably why she didn't go to you, because she already knows.
She knows my formula.
A dumb deal.
Yeah, because you got money.
Well, I was thinking,
you got that Ferrari, dog. People think you got a 1.9 laying around.
Well, I was thinking to myself, I was going to send it to you.
I would have here's what I would have done, Brad. I would have gotten on the phone with the seller. And so here's what I would tell your audience.
Should we DM her right now?
Yeah, let's DM her, yeah.
Make this deal happen, come back for a third episode?
Yeah, let's do it. The thing is, if you have an audience that is talking to sellers who want too much money, the big thing that you can do with me is say, Pace, will you call this seller and actually negotiate with them? Because what's happening is she doesn't know what to say to that seller to negotiate that down. I've gotten a lot of sellers. What's my favorite house I own?
So many of them. Like which one? The one in Atlanta.
Atlanta. My favorite house I own right now is in Atlanta. It's in like downtown Atlanta. Ansley Park. There you go. I love that house.
Why?
It's 8-bed, 5-bath, makes a ton of money. I bought it on seller finance. The seller, it's on a creek. Damn, it's like it's like out of some movie type of thing. And the seller, Jillian, we talked about this last time on the last episode, but Jillian wanted too much money down, and she wanted too much money as a percentage. And so I just negotiated her down and got a sweet deal.
So you just negotiate.
Yeah. I mean, you know a thing or two about sales.
Yeah. I mean, but you'd think, somebody would say, I just want my money. I just want my money. Like, I don't want no down payment bullshit.
No, not at all. They want a lot of these homeowners that have houses paid off, Brad, like that house in Oregon. Here's the thing is, where else are you going to put that $320,000 that's as secure as real estate? And something that you can actually make that kind of interest on. Nowhere. There's nothing more secure than real estate. So for you, in fact, Brad, you should seller finance that deal in Oregon to me.
Seller finance?
Yeah, why not? You don't want to do anything with that property, do you?
I was going to turn it into an Airbnb.
Is it in an area that you can drive traffic?
That's what I hear.
Okay. So here's the thing is that if you have an audience that has a property that they're curious, is this thing going to cash flow on an Airbnb? How do we verify that?
Good question.
Great website. Look it up. airdna.co. So you can see what an Airbnb. Did you find her?
Yep.
Let's call her.
Well, it's just a DM. I don't want her to necessarily have my number.
No, call her from the DM. You can call her from there.
You can?
Yeah.
You can call from a DM?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
You can call inside the Instagram DMs, yeah.
Can you?
Mm-hmm.
This place is awesome. I wish you could see it, but because you would make income cash flow. One just leased for $23,000 a month.
What's her name?
I can then send the videos. This lady?
Yeah.
Marlene Quiros.
Yeah, there she is. She has a white shirt with red letters on it.
Yep. How do you call her?
Let's see.
I never knew you could call inside DMs.
Let's see if she answers.
Pace Morby calling you. Answer your phone.
Marlene, we're trying to do a deal with you right now through Instagram, and we ain't getting you to answer the phone. Come on. But that's the thing, Brad. Here's what I would do
want to see if she'll answer mine?
Yeah, do it.
Just hit the camera?
Yeah, hit the camera in the upper right, yeah.
Oh my gosh. She must be busy. She just sent me right to voicemail.
It's because I was calling her.
She said no answer. It's going right. What?
Oh, shit.
Ain't even calling. Here, I'll DM her.
Come on, Marlene. We're trying to make some money. Trying to make you some money, Marlene.
Look, here's the house in Corona Del Mar.
Oh, that's way better than Palm Beach or what? Palm Springs.
Look, is that it? She said it's a mansion.
Bro.
I said, well, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, but not for $1.9 million down. Do you know what you could do for $1.9 million?
No.
You could go buy a 200 unit apartment complex on seller finance for that. I mean, there's so many things you can do. So here's what I would do. Anybody in the audience that has a seller that's open to seller finance, I don't care what the asking price is. I care about the terms, right? The other thing is if somebody's in foreclosure and they have no equity. So in order for a wholesaler to make money, what has to exist, Jamil?
There's got to be potential.
There has to be equity, right? You can't just take a deal that's worth 300 and buy it as a wholesaler for
equity or an opportunity to force equity.
Meaning adding on or doing a fix and flip, adding potential, something like that.
Yeah.
If that doesn't exist, you get a lot of sellers. So in Phoenix, just Phoenix alone, Vegas is similar. Every day, 32 people get foreclosed on every day in Phoenix. They just let their house go to foreclosure.
So if anybody's listening that's about to go into foreclosure,
or if you're a wholesaler and you're calling foreclosures, the reason why a wholesaler or an agent can't help those people and they ultimately go into foreclosure is because the sellers, the homeowners, don't have any equity. So the wholesaler's like, I can't do anything here. There's no meat left on the bone. So they don't even get the house under contract. The agent's like, I can't do anything for you. You have no equity. How are you going to pay my commission? So they're letting these families go into foreclosure with subject to, you can stop the foreclosure. You can buy these houses, take over the mortgage. Bring me every one of those deals. Email Brad. I don't care what country, I don't care what city you live in. I don't care what the deal is. Bring it to Brad and I will do the deals.
come on, people, bring the deals. Bring them quickly.
Jamil, how can, what you want cash deals in the full country, right?
All over, all across the United States.
So Brad, this is the challenge. What I would do is I would challenge the audience. I would even say, have your audience, whether they're wholesalers or agents, they do a deal with us, have them come back on another episode in 6 months and sit on this couch with us and talk about the real estate deals that we've done together.
Done.
I want to own a portfolio with you. So there's a couple of things that we could do. We could take deals from the show, people that need help, and we'll work those deals for them. Bro, I flew to Dalton, Georgia to get a deal done.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys are not afraid to work.
Hell no, bro.
Damn show.
We're not afraid. We'll get on the phone with your seller. We'll talk to you. We'll do the work. We'll jump on a plane, go see the property. Whatever it is that you guys have, we'd love to look at the properties. We'd love to look at the situations and buy some deals.
Dude, yours is J Damji?
J Damji on Instagram.
Why can I not? There you are. Dudes, people listening to this should be thinking to themselves, holy shit, because even if you don't know anybody, how many doors can you knock on, get information and data for us and deals for us?
Foreclosures only. Here's what I would do is I would go focus on people that are in foreclosure. Don't just go knock on random doors. If you're going to knock doors, go knock on people that are in foreclosure. And that's it.
Isn't there a list you can get for foreclosed properties? Mm-hmm. People going into foreclosure. Where do you get those lists?
There's a couple of places. You could go to preforeclosuresdaily.com. They release new foreclosures every single day. You can go to batchleads.io. You can get a discount if you use Jamil or a code PACE. And they have foreclosures. They sell you guys, I don't know, probably $15 a month. You can have all the foreclosures in your town. That's it. $15.
You just got to get out there and do the work.
Just got to get out there and do the work.
It's like a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer.
Now, you got people sitting here, I guarantee you, skeptical. There's always skeptical dickheads listening. Mm-hmm. They're all, they'll leave comments, well,
yeah.
What do you say to the skeptics?
What I would say is look in the comments of the people that are making money, that follow us, our loyal community.
Yeah, you guys got some freaking fan base.
We have a savage group of community.
Yeah, they're freaking rabid for you.
They are, because they make a lot of money.
That's how I first got you on the podcast.
Is my people requesting?
Yeah, everybody just kept saying, dude, you got to get Pace Morby on here. You got to get Pace Morby on here. And I'm like, who the fuck is Pace Morby?
Right.
And then I looked and I started listening to your people. And I'm like, dude, you got
so that's the thing is if you're a shit talker in the comments, I appreciate you, because keep making comments because it helps the algorithm. Keep doing that shit. I love it. Talk all the shit.
What's this about?
Subject to.
I thought it was just like fucking see ya.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Deuces to all the haters. So if you're a troll and you're talking shit, what I would do is go look at the other comments of people who are not talking shit and become friends with them and go, are these guys real? Are they really doing deals? And are you really making money learning their strategies? That's all you have to do.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. thousands and thousands.
And again, I think there's going to be a lot more. I don't even think we really promoted it last episode.
We did not promote it at all. And that's the main reason I wanted to come back here today is say, let's do more deals. Let's build a portfolio. Literally, bro, your brand is so damn powerful.
Why do you say that?
What brand? What do you mean?
Why do you think that?
Because, bro, we just bought a $1.3 million building with no money down. That's why I say that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Your brand's powerful.
So if there's any other people out there that love OBL or dropping bombs that have $1.3 million buildings that don't know what to do with it, they should reach out to me as well.
All day long.
And dude's happy as a clam in the ocean.
Bro, he brought you a bottle of whiskey he wants to hand to you.
When's he coming?
He's in Vegas right now. He's going to be, I think you're stopping by Clever.
That's what they told me, but
Sperber told me, Sperber's like, yo, I think Brad's going to stop by.
Well, I just did the polite, sure, yeah, I might run through, but why?
Chuck the seller.
Why would I go over there?
Chuck the seller would love to get a photo. I'm not saying you have to go, but he's like,
Chuck the seller's there, I might roll through.
If you roll through, send me a text. I'll have you take a photo with Chuck. He's got a bottle of whiskey he made custom for you.
When's it over?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, like night?
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Okay, I'll roll through tomorrow.
I'll come through real quick. I'll get you a photo with Chuck. And it'll be the first of many, many deals we'll do off this podcast.
Deal.
All right.
Are you guys going back now?
We're going to go back. Yeah, we've got Robert Kiyosaki's over there and a bunch of other people over there. So we're going to go hang out.
Are you guys all back in the green room being bigwigs?
Nope. I go out in the hallway. I took probably 600 photos this morning. I love doing it. I love meeting every single person, giving thousands and thousands of hugs to everybody. Like these are our people.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
They sent me, the team sent me a text. Hey, where are you? It's like 7:00 in the morning.
Should I go over there right now with you guys?
You can. Chuck,
what hotel is it at?
MGM. It would, bro, before you go home, here's the thing is like, you're already going to go home, right? Why not swing by the MGM for 30 minutes and then go home? Then you don't have to dick around with it later tonight or tomorrow. Like you're done.
Just walk in, say hello.
Box checked.
All right. I might do that.
It's a smart move.
Well, I will if I'm requested by old Pace Morby and
bro,
Jamil
please come over. Please.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So the people listening, dude, if they don't have anything, how do they find things? Because we'll pay them even if they found it.
Right.
So describe what they're looking for.
You're looking for problems. Okay. Every single seller that I buy a house from has a problem. Every single one of them. Foreclosure is the easiest foreclosure is publicly known.
So if someone's losing their house and it's going into foreclosure, DM me with the word foreclosure so I can help your friend out
say
and
911.
maybe make you some money. If you're the one with the foreclosure, hit me in the DM.
You're probably not going to have anybody in your audience that's in foreclosure, but you're going to have a lot of real estate investors that are out there calling foreclosures. And if somebody does not have equity, I want a foreclosure that has no equity. Bradley and I will buy it subject to. We'll build our portfolio together.
Or shitball houses.
Yep. Jamil's shitball.
Or, hey, and by the way, or if anybody wants to learn how to do this on their own, they will teach you how to do it. They've got Zoom calls.
We'll teach you how to do it by you selling us deals. Let's freaking go. Come on, sell us deals.
And fucking the money's right there.
The money's right there. Jamil will fund you.
He'll make you legit, so when you're knocking on a door, you don't seem like a freaking scam artist.
Right.
You're not a scam artist.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, dude, I've met people that told me their story, dude, and they went and knocked on a door and said, I'll buy your house. See, you did something they didn't say. You went and figured out what it was worth before they did it. They just got the person to agree, and then they thought to themselves, they got 30 days to find a buyer for that house. So they took that thing and they ran around and tried to find a buyer for it. And worst case scenario, if they didn't, they'd go back and say, I couldn't, sorry. And to me, that was wholesaling. And I thought to myself, that's still pretty fucking smart.
Yeah.
If you can find the inventory, if you can find the distressed people. Because like I said, if I've got equity in my house, I'm not letting it foreclose. I'll get the equity out.
There's 800 people right now in Vegas that are going to lose their home this month. 800.
And if we get the list, how come no one's calling them?
They do. But they're not legitimate. They're like so new and they need help. They need resources. So they'll call them. Again, Jamil said on his episode, he said, the deal is not in the high. The deal is in the high again.
Yeah, that's right. I like
that. What we've learned is 70% of our real estate transactions come from 13 follow-ups or more.
Boom.
And so what most people do is they stop after the second time. They go, oh, they told me no. Bro, come on. This is sales. People only want to do business with people who are legitimate and are consistent. If you're not willing to follow up with the seller, you don't deserve to get that house.
Hey, you want to spend an hour a week with me helping you become a business badass? Well, check out my group in the link below. Yeah, everything sounds easy, but like I've never done it. So I'm thinking, am I going too big? Should I go get a damn duplex? Should I start smaller? Like, what would you recommend people do? Should they go right to the big if they can?
It depends on how much they have to lose. I mean, for you, even if this building doesn't do that great, you'll still be all right. Might not be the case for somebody else. I own a 10 unit out here, so that was my first taste of multifamily.
Price per unit $63,889.
63,000. And do you know what they're selling for, fully stabilized per unit? I would ask them.
It's a 5.61% cap rate.
Okay. So, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know what things are trading for out there, but if you know that things in that area are selling for 80 to 90,000 a door, fixed up and stabilized and going, and you know that this one's not going to cost much, then you got yourself a deal.
I'll show it to you afterwards. Yeah. So I'm starting to get into that. So find them. Okay. Thank you. Wholesale, build some relationships. Okay. So now after you find them, now you got to fund them.
Right.
Now you got to either in my case, I got the money. I'll go put the down payment, get the loan from the bank. Okay, now it's mine. Now all of a sudden I go in and I say, hey, guess what? Rent's going up $50 a unit. And now that building is worth more now.
Right.
If they all don't move out on me. Correct?
Right.
So that seems like, oh shit, no brainer. And then I turn around and borrow that difference, that equity out tax-free. I can depreciate the building and all these benefits like nobody even realizes. It's not just the cash flow. It's not just the equity. It's the depreciation and all the benefits you get from owning it, correct?
Correct.
So you can write off.
Yeah, the cash flow is kind of small compared to all the other benefits.
So how do you fund it? You got to find it. You got to fund it.
Well, apartments and flips are two totally different things. I mean, so if you're just talking about a flip, your everyday $300,000 house you're going to buy, what I would suggest doing is just getting a hard money loan. Even if you're brand new, hard money lenders will fund you up to 80%. We get it all the time with our students who've never done a deal.
How do you get 20% though?
So the 20% is going to come from friends or family. Just think about it. If you buying this house for 300, you need 60 grand. There's a lot of people with 60 grand, you know?
So you go borrow 60 grand from your friends and family. What if you bought it at 300 and you shouldn't have? Like, damn it, dude, that was only worth 240.
So most likely that would not happen with the hard money lender.
Because they're going to go send their own appraisers.
They're underwriting it and they wouldn't let you buy it.
See? It's built-in safety mechanism nobody even thinks. Because what I'm getting at, there's a lot of people out there scared shitless to try.
Right.
And dude, what kind of a pussy are you? I'm serious. Like, dude, real estate makes a lot of people money, and you can make an damn good living just flipping houses
easily.
But you got to know where to find them. You got to know how to fund them. And then why haven't I done it? Well, dude, what if I get ripped off? How do I know what the value is? So there's these little things that people don't realize until they go out and just do it, and then they start to realize, oh shit, I can't necessarily get too bad. Because these guys wouldn't allow that. What are some pitfalls someone can get cracked on? What would you look out for?
So obviously if you get through the hard money stage and they say, yeah, we'll fund this deal. We think it's a good deal. Really the next part where they get screwed is contractors because they got to go handle this project. And
the GCs?
Yep. And so maybe the contractor says it's a 40 grand rehab and, or maybe you thought it was a 40 grand rehab, right? You did your thing. And now you go to do it and the contractor's like, oh, this is 70 grand rehab. And your profit was 30 grand. Well, now you ain't going to make any money, best case. So the GC is kind of where most people get screwed. And that's nothing the hard money lender can do about it. So with the GC, we always recommend doing your inspections and getting your bids before you buy it. So
say that again.
Doing your inspections and getting your contractor bids before you buy it. So, you have a due diligence period. You don't have to buy this thing until you're completely ready. So go get 3 contractors to walk the property before you buy it and have them all give you bids before you ever close.
Well, my only question with that is like everything sells so fucking fast. I just had a buddy wants to move out here. I said, listen, my buddy over here is a realtor. Just call him. He'll get you a couple deals knocked out. Found a $2 million house. Said, I'll take it. Just sold. Found another one. I'll take it. Sorry, just sold. Like shit moves so fast. How are you got time to arrange people walking properties and doing bids?
I mean, it's not like the house, you accept an offer today and it closes tomorrow. That's rare. Even for us, when we buy a house in the MLS, we still got 2 weeks to close this thing. So think about this, Brad. If I have even a week to close it, I can go get multiple contractors in there the first day, right? I got to have these guys already lined up before I put it under contract.
That's the key right there.
Yeah, just be prepared. Now, day one, we go in there. They tell us the bids, whatever. We're confident. Okay, they all say it's 30, 35. Like, they're all in the same range, right?
Yeah.
Then you're just picking who you want. But at least you're pretty confident. They're inspecting it, all that stuff. But here's the worst case. Let's just say at the end you're ready to buy it, and then all of a sudden you find out that, oh man, this is way more rehab than I thought. One of two things are going to happen. One, you're going to ask for a reduction, and you're going to say, dude, I can't buy this for this price. Friggin' give me
termites.
Yeah, give me a reduction. Two.
Now hold on, just because I want to understand. If I said that to the person I just agreed to buy the house at this price, can they sue me and hold me to that price?
No. So typically what happens is you put down your earnest money deposit. So in an event, who knows what, it could be anything, but typically it's 1% of purchase price. So on this $300,000 house, they might put down $3,000. Now there are people who are putting really high earnest money deposits right now to show that they're going to buy. Okay, I'll put a $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 because I'm going to show you I'm buying this house. But let's just say you put $3,000 like normal days. Well, if you back out during your due diligence period, you get the $3,000 back. Okay. They have to. That was entitled to you in the contract. But let's say it's past 7 days and you find out, dude, I can't buy this. Like the rehab's too much. You can still renegotiate. Okay. You could try. They may or may not do it. Second option is you say, all right, well, I'm backing out. Give me my money back. Even though contractually they don't have to, it still happens a lot. They still give it back, mainly because they can't just take it. There's going to be a lawsuit or there's going to be back and forth. And even us, when we have buyers who back out of our flips, even after all their contingencies are gone, it's not like we get the money. We still have to like end up settling with them. Like, all right, just give us $1,500 then, and you guys get $1,500 back, whatever. But the third option is you truly did just lose the $3,000, and like that is your worst case. You lose the EMD. And it's better to lose $3,000 than to just buy that property and potentially lose a lot more.
Well, wouldn't it? Why couldn't you go through with it? You spent a little more than you thought, but now you rent it.
You could do that too.
Turn it into a rental property.
Yeah. So I own a few rentals that were flips that did not go the way I planned for whatever reason. So we ended up holding them, and thankfully they're actually good now because market's gone up so much. I look like a genius. But you can do that. You just have to know what are things renting for, what's your mortgage going to be on it. Here in Vegas, it's not really a good rental market for the prices because it's like a $400,000 house rents for $2,000, $2,500, and the mortgage is $2,000, $2,500. So it's hard to cash flow here
in Vegas. So after you fix it, which is now the GC issue, now you got to sell the bitch.
Yep.
So I don't see a problem right now, but in normal markets, you don't just sell the house just because it's for sale.
Right.
So what if you flipped it? What if whoever designed the new flip like has bad taste and now nobody likes your fucking flip?
Yep. So I've seen that before. I have a rule I call copy the comps. So anytime you're flipping a house, right, you're getting the comps and you're saying, I think this house will sell for $400 because these three sold for $400. Well, what did those three look like? Okay. Did they have white cabinets and granite counters or quartz counter? Whatever they did, just literally copy it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel and like, oh man, I'm going to go blue cabinets. I'm going to do this super trendy. It's going to be great. That could potentially make more money because it's so unique, but odds are it's not. There's a reason the builders of all these tract homes have the same exact looking house because everyone buys it.
And you don't want to get caught putting your style in the house.
Yeah. Another thing too is don't over remodel homes. You know, just because I would want this in my home doesn't mean that that's what you should do on this house. So knowing the level of finishes you need for that area is important.
Would it behoove the flipper to make relationships with people, or like vendors and like marble guys and shit like that? Or is that the GC's deal?
It's the GC's deal. I mean, for most people starting out, you don't need to source products.
But if I have a buddy that owns a marble company and I can get marble way cheaper than you or the GC for that matter,
just tell your GC about it.
Just say, I got a deal over here so he won't whack me so hard.
Yep.
On the marble.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you need marble contact here?
Dude, you know, we always need more suppliers.
Yeah, well, my buddy owns Marble Express over here.
Okay.
So,
I'm sure we bought there. I've seen it a million times.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want me to introduce him,
Yeah.
I'll introduce you to him.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. Okay, so selling it in a market like this is easier than not, but now you got to sell it. Describe that real quick.
Yeah, so in today's market, I mean, you freaking list it and people pay the price. I mean, it's crazy. Most of our flips are getting 10 to 20% more than we thought. I mean, and it's not. I'm like, okay, this house should get 300,000, gets 350. I'm like, this is crazy.
And
so,
if you probably wanted to, you could have waited and got 360 because there's people fighting over them.
They are. It's crazy. So, you know, we never want to do that as flips. We want to sell them as fast as possible, limit our risk, get our money back, go do another one, right? But in a normal scenario, you're going to hire a realtor. I never recommend doing a for sale by owner. Some people are like, well, why do I got to pay the realtor and all this? I'm like, dude, you ain't a professional, one. Two, you don't even know how to negotiate. You're going to cost yourself some money thinking you're a good negotiator. And you're just not going to get the exposure that it would get if it was on the MLS and other realtors could show it and all this stuff. So just list it with a good realtor and they're going to give you their opinion on what you should list it for. And if they're a good realtor, they're probably right.
Is there any public record that would tell me what to list it for?
I mean, you got your comps, right? So
Zillow?
I would never use Zillow's estimate. So here's what I do. When I'm comping a property, I'll look at the solds. That's first and foremost important, right? Okay, they're all selling for 400. Great. I got multiple comps. But then I'll look at what's pending and what's active. And so maybe there's a pending at 420. And I'm like, okay, by the time I'm done, this might set a new comp at 420. That's good. I got some upside. And then I'll also look at what's active, okay? Is there anything else for sale? If there's nothing for sale, that's good. That means that I'm going to be the only game in town. If there's other flips on the market not selling and they're at 420 or 400, then I'm like, hey, why aren't these selling? So you got to look at everything as a whole. But to make the story short, when I go to list, really what I'm looking at now is, okay, what are these comps now? Maybe it did go to 420. That guy sold. Great. But what else is on the market? What's my competition? If I have no competition, in today's market, I might go price that thing at 450 just because there's nothing for sale. Like, what else are you going to buy? You want to live in Southern Highlands? I have the only house in Southern Highlands. Tough luck. You got to buy it. But if there's all these other things they have options for, all right, let's price it at comps. Let's go to 420. You know, our house is comparable.
So if I find a house, let's say in Seven Hills where I live,
yeah,
and it's $2,900,000, and everybody's fighting over it, how can I flip that house? Like, because you got to overpay to get the damn thing. Where are you finding all these wholesale deals?
Ironically, it's funny you mentioned Seven Hills. Before I was here, I was a little late. I was touring a listing that's about to go on the market at $32 million in Seven Hills. Super cool house. I'll probably do a YouTube edit. But
is it the one with the curved?
Yeah,
that guy's his name Mike.
I don't want to say it on the podcast.
Anyway,
but,
yeah, I know that house, dude. That's a badass house.
I just was walking it, dude.
It's got a rock wall.
Yep.
I was in there one night for a party. That fucking house is sweet.
The house
and
is
you know,
crazy.
he built that house because he had another house over here that they were impeding his view or some bullshit. So he just said,
he went direct to the seller. He
just
told me
said,
the story.
Yeah, dude. Like that's when you got freaking big, juicy balls. You just freaking build another one.
Well, so I'm building a house in McDonald Highlands. I bought this 2 acres on the mountaintop.
Askaya?
No, it's in McDonald. But you know, I went direct to the seller and I'm like, yo, like, let's do this deal. So it's like finding that deal wasn't on the market, but it's just going direct to the seller. And
how did you know though? You didn't just knock on some dude's door.
Well, I mean, you could pull the tax records, see who owns this. And then there's a ton of services that can get you people's phone numbers. It's not hard.
But don't they look around and say, bro, this thing's going for 39 mil. Why are you offering me 32?
Well, I'm not buying a 32. I bought land. Was what I did.
Yeah, but my point is like, see, because I have a little dough, and I don't mind doing the work because I want to learn before I hire a team to go do.
Yeah.
And or invest with a guy like you, so I know a little bit more than I do now. Because like I want to know what you're up to.
Yeah.
If I'm investing.
Right.
So I think to myself every time, okay, so how do I find these houses? Boom. Okay, so you covered that, and then, well, how do I fund them? Okay, hard money lenders. Okay. Now, how do I freaking get the contractors to actually go fix it? Well, you're going to need to know some GCs and some people that are reliable.
Right.
And then to sell it, you just list it with a realtor. That's it.
Pretty much. You got to let them do their job. I mean, that's why you're paying them.
So be friends with a couple realtors, which I know a bunch.
Yep.
And that's it.
If they got a good track record, they sell, and you're a flipper. But back to your original point, the hardest part of being a flipper is getting the deal. And, you know, the money's easy. There's so much money in the world. You can get financing.
Wholesalers find you, right?
Yep. So wholesalers, all they got to worry about is just finding good deals. But you asked, why would people not just wholesale? Wholesaling's great, but you're always leaving money on the table, and you have to get a way better deal than me. Because, for instance,
way better.
If you want to make money, you do.
Dude, it's a flip. I mean, it's a wholesale. Who cares? Like, hey, I know my buddy, my neighbor next door, dude, he wants 2.4. I say, sign this. I'll buy it for 2.4. And then he gives it to me, and I go, dude, you want this for 2.5?
Well, yeah, when you're making 100K, it's cool. But
or 50K.
Not most wholesales are not like that. Yeah, most wholesales are, hey, we're going to make 10K in markets like this. Yeah, when you're in expensive markets, 100,000, totally normal. But when you're dealing with a $200,000 house, like how much cheaper are you really? If I know I need to buy it at 150, I mean, you might be getting it for 140. Like that's cool, but if you flip it, you could make 30 instead of 10. And if we're both competing for that deal and you can't flip, guess what? I can offer them 150. You can only offer 140 because you got to make your spread. And so as a wholesaler, you limit your options and you miss out on a lot of deals that if you could flip, you would make money. But there's more risk. I mean, there's more work. I mean, it really is whatever you want to do.
All I can hear is opportunities everywhere.
The opportunities are everywhere, man. In your scenario of, man, this guy wants 2.9, everyone's on it. How am I supposed to get it? You're not. That ain't your deal. If everyone's on it, I don't want it.
Like my buddy, he found a house, 1.9, made an offer, said, I'll take it. Boom, already sold. It just got listed.
Yeah.
I said, well, just offer him more. He said, I tried. The guy wouldn't take it. Well, I don't understand. Like if I owned a house and you came in at 1.9, I'm like, all right, deal. Then someone goes, I'll give you 2. I'd be like, hold on, Ryan. I got 2.
Well, that's why I'm saying direct to seller is one that always works because nobody's offering them. It's not on the market. You know, how many people have offered?
But they don't do comps and look around.
They might, but a lot of people just don't care. Like we tell people, we're like, look, we're not going to be the highest offer, but what we can give you is convenience. We'll close quick. We'll buy it as is.
What's a quick closing?
I mean, we could close in a day if we really needed them to, but for most, it just like a quick close is 2 weeks. But you're going to need due diligence, right? It just depends on the deal. I mean, some deals we're like, yeah, we need due diligence. Others, we walk them. We're getting such a great deal. We're like, no, like you're guaranteed we're going to buy this. We don't need any contingencies, nothing. And guess what?
How do you know it's that good of a deal though? Just experience?
Yeah. I mean,
because I wouldn't know.
You would know though.
Like come to my house, tell me, hey, Brad, I'll give you X. fuck, I'd have to look around and get some comps and, you know, do a little research to even say yes or no. I don't know if that's a good deal, bad deal, or you're ripping me off. What's this house worth?
But most people,
I go to Zillow and look at this estimate.
That's what most people do. But if you knew I was coming to your house to make you an offer, you would already have done your due diligence on what your house is worth. And sometimes we'll ask people, we'll be like, hey, what do you think your house is worth? Like, have you done any research? They'll be like, oh, Zillow said this, or Sally Joe's house sold for this. It gives us both an idea of where they're at and whether we can make a deal. Yeah. And so before we ever go on the appointment, if they're asking for Zillow value, typically we'll be like, hey, look, we're here to make a profit. Like, we can't even, if we pay Zillow value, we're going to lose money. So
we're going to have to sell it at Zillow value.
Yeah. So if that's what you want, that's fine. You need to list. We have a brokerage. We can do that. But if you want a quick close, you don't want to deal with realtors and all these buyers coming in and out. You just want this one time and done. You want to leave all your crap at the house. You want to, you know, rent back potentially. That's a big one too. Is like, hey, we'll buy it. We'll let you rent back for a month or two, you know, to let you get on to your next phase. So it's convenience is what they're paying for.
Well, it sounds like it's nothing but opportunity. So if anybody's out there not making money, you know, basically eating shit, if you ask me, because like I always tell people, like, life begins at 20 grand a month. If you're not making 20 grand a month, dude, you're missing out, because you know you're in the what I call the race. Like you're just barely paying bills. You're not able to save enough to really make any difference. Every time you save a little, something comes up where now shit, you had to fix your tire and do some stupid shit. But once you get up to, like, say 20, and then you live normal, well, now you got a little extra that can save and start really making some compound moves.
Right.
To where if you're not out there making 20 grand a month, I'd suggest, you know, getting into wholesaling, getting into flipping, getting into real estate of some kind, getting into the Walmart stores, the automated Walmart stores, figuring out how to do it, help other people do it, create courses. It's just, there's no excuse for people not making 20 G's.
Well, I'll say I'm with you. Back 10 years ago when I was 21 almost, trying to figure out what should I do to make money. This stuff didn't exist, you know? People weren't getting paid to be YouTubers. There wasn't this e-commerce stuff. There wasn't wholesaling the way it is today where everyone talks about it. You can learn how to do it for free on YouTube. I literally just told you how to do it. Like, anyone can do it. And yet 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. And so I did not make money 10 years ago. Most people didn't, because it was like this hidden, you know, thing that only the gurus knew. But today, literally, no one has excuse for why they can't make 20 grand a month.
Folks, and if you guys don't understand that, well, then reach out to old Ryan Pineda, folks, because he's helping people make money left and right. He's got funds. You can be passive. You can give him money, make money. You can learn to do it yourself and give him very little money. Or you can do a combination in there where he coaches you, and you got like groups rolling around town.
Yep.
But Pace Morby has a wildly successful TV show now out on A&E with his partner, Jamil Damji. And there are the Triple Digit Flippers. What's the actual show called?
Triple Digit Flip.
Triple Digit Flip on A&E, gaining mass appeal to the masses. Why? Because you guys are funny some bitches.
Jamil's funny as hell. And then my wife is on there. His sister Rahim is on there. And we just show people what we do. And we break it down simple.
Now, if someone watches that show, could they pick up how to do it?
Yes. That was the big thing for us, is that we went to A&E, or A&E came to us and we said, look, if we're going to do a show, we don't want to do that bullshit where like all of a sudden the house comes out of nowhere and nobody knows where the house came from and what the numbers are and how you break it down and how you actually make money. And so in our show, we actually show where the houses come from. The stories of the sellers that bring the deals to the table, and people go, oh my gosh, I now know the seed that was planted that ultimately brought the fruit.
Yeah.
Instead of the fruit just going, yeah, we made $200,000 on this house. You're like, okay.
So it's like flipping entertainment.
Yes, absolutely.
Go to A&E to watch that. You guys can also follow him at Pace Morby.
Most people are streaming it on Hulu or YouTube TV.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go to A&E as well.
I don't even know where you find A&E anymore. Netflix?
Not many people do. Hulu or YouTube TV.
Where do you find it on? Netflix?
A&E?
A&E's got an app.
Oh, that's so good.
Hey, you can also go to pacemorby.com or sub2, like subject2, subto.com.
Yeah,
or
like,
find him on social.
the deal we're doing, baby.
Or find him on social at pacemorby. But anyway, so he came here. We were shooting the shit. I had not done a lot of sub2. I haven't been involved in real estate, even though I hung out with Grant. I should be a freaking apartment extraordinaire by now.
Yeah, you should have 10,000
Well, I wasn't
units,
listening to him. I was worried more about freaking other things like a dumbass. But you always wise up eventually.
Yeah.
And so when I started talking to you on our last episode, I'm like, dude, this is like legit. And I barely mentioned anything, but I think I joked like, hey, if anybody has a deal, and dude, deals did come in from the listeners and people are making money now. So I'm glad you're back so people can have another opportunity to make some real fucking money.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm about too. I'm about helping other people get out of the rat race.
Yeah.
I call it get out of the rat race. If you guys start hearing anybody hashtag get out of the rat race, that's mine, bitches. Don't steal it. Because, dude, how many people want to get out of the rat race?
Everybody.
And I'm telling you right now, if somebody just listened to this episode and said, fuck it, I'm following Pace and Jamil right now, and I'm going to do everything they tell me to do. Dude, within a couple years, max, they'd be out of the rat race.
It's a couple years, yeah.
Max.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's people that can do it quicker.
Well, if you think about it, what's the average household income? You know what it is?
62,000.
60. I just looked it up a couple of days ago. $68,000 household combined income.
Yeah.
$68,000
as an individual, it's like
50,
below that.
maybe 50, right? Because usually it's like a second income that's in the house that equates to $68,000. You do a couple of deals that you hold. Now, Jamil's strategy is not my strategy, right? That's why it's kind of yin and yang, and it's great for him and I to gel with each other. But there's only 3 ways to make money in real estate. Only 3 ways. It's either you're wholesaling. Okay, and you can wholesale cash deals or you can wholesale creative finance deals. Like this subject to deal I'm about to break down for the audience. If I wanted to, you and I could take this deal and I could assign it for $100,000. You and I could split 50-50, okay? You'd make a $50,000, I'd make $50,000. But I don't want to do that, okay? Because the other 2 ways to make money in real estate is fixing and flipping or developing, right? You get a piece of dirt, you build it up, you sell it to another client, okay? You're not holding it. Which is the third thing. The third thing is holding property. Those are the only 3 ways to make money in real estate. Now, some people go, well, what about being a real estate agent? Well, you're not making money in real estate. You're a service provider.
Yeah.
You're working for the person who's making the money in real estate.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Right. So
but there's some realtors out there that would argue that.
Those are agent investors. Those are different.
Or well, that would mean them different. But the agents I'm talking about are the ones that are making millions just strictly selling houses because of their
But
TV
they're not
shows.
selling their houses. They're selling somebody else's real estate, right? They're a service provider. So, which I'm not
that is
breaking
a service,
down.
but they're still making millions.
They're making a lot of money. I'm just saying there's only 3 ways as a real estate investor to make money in real estate. Wholesaling real estate, which is Jamil, developing, which is fixing and flipping or building something, and 3, holding it. Okay. So when a subject to deal comes my way, that's the first thing I look at is holding it. And the reason why is because as you make a shit ton of money, you're not really worried so much about making a lot of money. You're really starting to worry about keeping your money, right? Brad, like you had a tax bill this year, I imagine?
Sure.
I didn't. I make millions. No, I probably don't make as much money as you do.
Well, it's probably because you have all that depreciation.
I have depreciation.
Does that building have depreciation
Hell
for us?
yes, this building has depreciation.
And do I get some of that
You
depreciation?
get half of it.
Sweet.
Right. So here, let me break this down for you. Okay. So Jamil and I, this deal comes in. I call Jamil and I go, hey, Brad just sent me over a lead. I talked to Chuck, the seller, sweetest guy in the world, owns a distillery. So let's talk about why does Chuck want to sell his property? Because if you're new to real estate and you see these deals, people making $50,000, $100,000, you're like, why doesn't the seller just do it themselves? You ever have those questions?
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Rule number 2 in creative finance. Okay. Rule number 2 in creative finance, never put your brain in the seller's head because you have your experience. Bro, you just bought a Ferrari F8.
Dude, it's just the same thing with foreclosures though. Like how can someone with equity ever get foreclosed on, but it happens?
It happens all the time.
Like how? Like you got equity in the house, dipshit.
If you sat down with the people, because I used to sit down and go to these appointments. I used to take my son Asher on these appointments and my son would go, man, these people literally can't tie their shoes. How did they ever get a mortgage in the first place? Right? There's a lot of people that just have got put in bad situations by bad decision making.
Yeah.
That's it. They make bad decisions. They can't get themselves out. Even if they have equity, they're like, I don't even want to deal with it. In fact,
I want all those people to call me, right? Call
100%.
us, correct? That's my point. Like, dude, if you have equity and you're getting foreclosed on, you have no way out, call Bradley. Hit me in the DMs. I'm going to freaking funnel your ass right over to these guys.
Well, check this out. I don't know if you can hear this okay.
I'm going to tell you something. I told Sandra and Tracy this last week. I'm on my way to work, and I said, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. Can you help me? And I mean it. Not even a minute later, I get the first text from Tracy.
Okay, so Tracy's on my team. She sends a text message to a guy who is in foreclosure. I get him under contract Wednesday of this week.
Save his ass out of foreclosure.
Bro, he says, I prayed to God that you would take my house, and you text me a minute later. And people are running around like there's no real estate deals out there. And we've got people praying to God for us to take them. It's because we know where to look, right? And so we actually bought this house subject to. It's in Phoenix. We bought that house subject to.
You buy them all subject to, don't you?
I don't buy them all subject to. I wholesale, and we fix and flip on the TV show. I wholesale, but my passion is creative finance because I can solve problems that other people can't solve.
And it's just fun.
It's fun as shit.
It's almost
dude.
like a puzzle. It's like a Rubik's Cube.
It is a puzzle. So here's the deal with Chuck, okay? Chuck, smart guy, owns a distillery. Actually, the number one distillery in Georgia. He's been rated, like, this is a smart guy. The problem with the distiller is, guess what he's got? He's got employees, overhead. He's got growth that he's trying to double down, triple down. Do you think he's really focused on this building that he owns?
No.
Hell no. In fact, brother,
it's probably a nuisance.
It's a nuisance. It's a problem. Okay, so Jamil and I called Jamil. I go, hey, you want to go do a meetup in Atlanta? Anytime we fly around, we're always like, let's go meet with our students, shake hands, all that kind of stuff. So we do a meetup in Atlanta. Next morning, we drive up an hour and a half. We go see this building in Dalton, Georgia. Okay, Dalton, Georgia, Jamil mentioned on his episode of Dropping Bombs is where Shea Carpet, Mohawk, and all these big companies manufacture.
Cool little town or no?
It's a kick-ass little town, yeah. Tons and tons of blue collar. And they have hundreds of thousands of jobs just right in that industry. We go up there, we tour the building, and I'm like, man, it's vacant. Right now, the property is vacant. But it's got 7 or 8 buildings all attached to it.
How many square feet?
Oh, what would you say? 30,000?
It was huge, dude.
Massive,
30,
bro.
Maybe 40,000 square feet is fucking big.
Massive.
Big old sumbitch.
Big old.
It's like 8 structures.
8 structures. So Chuck's biggest problem is he's like, man, I'm trying to focus on my distillery. I hear this episode with you and Brad, and I hear, man, I have a $1.2 million loan on this property with the SBA, right? Small Business Association. So I have this loan, and my loan is $8,000 a month. He goes, I've been paying that $8,000 a month, and every single month I go, I need to go get that rented out. I need to go get that rented out. I need to go get that rented out. But guess what? You get home from work, you got a wife, you got kids, you got all this stuff going on. You push it back, you push it back, you push it back. Then he hears an episode of Dropping Bombs, and he goes, this is a great way for me to offload this burden and give it to somebody who actually knows what to do with it. Okay. So this is what we do. We call a couple of real estate agents in the area that know how to lease out buildings like this. That's their expertise. I'm not a Dalton, Georgia expert. I've never done a deal in Dalton, Georgia. So we go up there, we tour the building, we bring our agents, and our agents are like, you can rent this out for like $21,000, $22,000 a month. That pays the $8,000 mortgage. You've got a roughly $12,000 to $14,000 spread after some things. You're netting probably $8,000 a month on this property. I'm like, done. Let's do it. So I enlist an agent named Julian, is his name. Expert in that market, has tons of deals he's doing, land deals, wholesale, fixing and flipping, apartment complexes, all that stuff. I go, here's the thing, Julian, I not only want to buy this property, I'm partnering with Brad Lee on this, but I want to buy some apartment complexes in here. And you can be our representative. Now we've got cash flow coming in this town. Let's buy some apartment complexes. As long as I can either A, utilize the cash flow from this one deal, or B, we can find some more like seller finance deals. So we go through the property, and we then go and tour Chuck's distillery. And I see why he's so damn, like, I'm over this building, because he's got like fairs and all sorts of other alcoholic. I don't drink, so I don't know shit about distill.
You got glitter vodka, bro.
Yeah, this guy's like, he's growing. He's blowing up. And he's like, I have no time for this building. So this building, bro, here's what this building means to somebody like you and me. Okay, a couple of things. Number one, probably to you $4,000 a month, to me $4,000 a month in net cash flow. Okay, so one person in this audience, bro, we don't have to come up with any money to take this property over. An agent's going to go and rent it all out for us. They're boots on the ground, so they're local. And
now, what if they can't? Me and you pay that payment.
Yeah,
I ain't worried about it.
Here's how I'm structuring that deal, because I want to do a ton of deals with you. Whatever the expenses are for, let's say we have a couple of months of vacancy, I will pay for that. And then what will happen is when we sell the property, let's say in 10 years, 15 years or whatever, I'll recoup.
Plus interest?
No.
Damn, deal. Done.
Because check this out, bro.
Like there's the small print.
Let's pull out your calculator.
Daily compounding.
Let's pull out your calculator. I want to teach your audience how to calculate depreciation on a building like this. Right. Very simple. Okay. So it's a larger building. So we wouldn't just do a depreciation. We would do what's called a cost segregation. You guys can go and Google that. Cost segregation is where you hire an engineer for about $1,500. They go to the whole building and they do a whole calculation that they turn into the IRS, and they go, hey, this property, Pace and Bradley deserve about 50% of the value to be depreciated in its first year. So let's say that it's a $1.3 million building is what it is. Divide that in half. 1.3 650. Okay, so that means that you get 325 of that, and I get 325 of that. What does that mean? That means that you can go make $325,000 this year in whatever the hell else you're doing. Affiliates or a sales thing, or you sell a car, or you flip another house. You can go make $325,000 tax-free.
Which ultimately means based on your tax rate.
So for you, it probably saved you a good $150,000 to $175,000 in actual tax burden this year.
Yeah.
That one building.
That's nuts.
That one building gave you $150,000 you won't have to give to the IRS. And same thing with me. I'll get another $150,000 I don't have to pay to the IRS either.
Now, and not to sound greedy, because I'm glad that I did it with you, but I could have done that myself if I knew what the fuck I was doing.
You could have done that yourself.
If I knew what I was doing, all that could have been mine.
Here's what I did, Brad, that you didn't do. I called 17 agents.
And I wouldn't have known to do.
You wouldn't have known to do. Right. I called 17 agents. How many of them called me back? One.
Probably one.
And
yeah,
you know what's funny
crazy?
Is, bro, it's bonkers to me. And then when they say I can't find listings, it's like, you guys are all running Google ads. Realtors can't
make money.
They're running Google ads to get phone calls, but they don't pick up their damn phone. One person picked up their phone, Julian. So I get on the phone with Julian. I go, hey, represent me, go to the property. So before I got it under contract, I had Julian go inspect the property, and he goes, oh yeah, no, I actually know Chuck. I know the town. I know the guys. I know everybody. I know people that will rent this building. And I'm like, why doesn't Chuck just do it? He goes, bro, I've told Chuck. He knows Chuck. And he says, I've told Chuck, but Chuck is so busy with his distillery, he doesn't have the time. I go, great. Well, how do I hire you? He goes, just tell me. We'll sign a little agreement. I go find the tenants. You pay me the first month of the tenant's bill, and that's how I get paid my fee.
Beauty.
So you and I are into the deal, no money out of pocket. We don't have to pay the agent any money out of pocket. And we just took over a $1.3 million building in Dalton, Georgia that will cash flow both you and I $4,000 a month for as long as we want to hold the property.
Let alone equity.
Equity.
Let alone $150,000 each in depreciation off your taxes.
This
once,
year.
Right? Yeah, you don't get to do that every year.
We'll accelerate it. So normally in a depreciation schedule, the IRS gives you whatever the purchase price is. They will give you that purchase price divided by 27.5. And you can just take 1 year at a time. But what we're going to do is we're going to take half of all of those years in its first year through a cost segregation. I won't go.
Is that an option?
Yeah, that's an option.
How come everyone doesn't take it? They don't know about it?
Well, you don't typically do it on single family homes. You do it on like commercial buildings or apartment complexes.
Well, I just bought another building in Salem, Oregon.
Okay. And are you doing a cost seg on that?
I don't know anything to do with it.
You need to talk to your CPA and say, are we doing a cost seg on this property?
Okay.
It'll immediately save you a couple $100,000 on your taxes. Because the tough thing is, do you have a problem making money?
No.
No, and I don't have a problem making money either. The problem we have at our level is keeping our money away from the IRS.
I bought the land and the building.
Yeah, then you should.
The business that houses it, and now the business is renting from the building.
Why didn't we do that deal together?
Well, because it was before I met you.
Okay, so now every deal you do, I get to be involved?
I would freaking get you guys involved for sure. Again, dude, like I'll start, bringing the deals. I need someone to sift through them. A lot of people here are going to say, dude, I got a deal.
They will. And this is what I wanted.
They're going to reach out to you direct, but that's okay. For those that are loyal to the old B-Meister, just hit me up and let me funnel you
How do they hit you up?
I'm messing with
How do they hit you up?
No, I need them to hit you up. Okay. I need them to hit you up if they're listening to this.
Okay. So
this is your episode.
Okay. So if you're a real estate agent and you have a house that's ugly, you get a call from a seller and the seller says, hey, I'm ready to sell my house. Come and, look at my property. Tell me what you can sell it for. And you walk into that property. And like Jamil said on his episode, he said, if it's gross enough that you want to throw your shoes off or out after you walk out, that's a Jamil house. Reach out to Jamil.
Or like if it stinks like cat pee.
Oh, all day long. That's a wholesale deal all day long.
One time I walked into a house. I'm telling you, they were showing the house. It was empty. Supposedly clean. You walk in.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't even breathe.
Ammonia.
And it turned out there was like 20 cats living in the house.
Bro, that's what we live. We go see 15 of those houses a week.
So that's a Jamil house.
That's a Jamil house. That's a wholesale deal. Now I do wholesale, but he's the godfather of wholesale. So send that to him. What I want the deals where people don't have any equity and they're like, take my property. That's what I want.
Like they're just, hey, I just don't want to be liable for this anymore.
Right. I'm done. Right. Like this guy that says, I'm done with the property. I prayed to God, please let me find somebody who will take this property from me. Okay. So, or you have a seller that wants too much money. That's a seller finance deal. So the property I live in, it's an 11,000 square foot home. I bought it for $3 million. The seller's like, I don't want to go with an agent, but I want full retail. I go, great, seller finance the deal to me. He goes, done. Right. We worked out a negotiation. I don't need to go into and belabor that point. But if you have a seller, let's say you're a wholesaler out there, Jamil's strategies, working with real estate agents and going out there and doing the thing. And the seller says, yeah, I know Zillow says my house is worth $250, but I want $300 for it. Guys, I'm a buyer for that. I'm a buyer because in my world, the value of a property is not what Zillow tells me it is. The value is what I can do with that property in terms of cash flow. Okay. So I've got a property in Texas right now, just got under contract, laying in my bed at the Aria the other night. 11 o'clock comes through my DMs. Wholesaler says, hey, I've got a house. Seller wants $200,000 for it. It's probably worth 170. It's in Texas. Texas is like cheaper there in Texas. It's probably valued at 170. They want 200. I go, great. Will they seller finance? He goes, I don't know. I go, get me on the phone. Get on the phone with the seller. Seller says, yeah, I'll seller finance. What do you want to do? I go, I want 0 down, 0% interest for 30 years. And they go, we'll do it for 15. I go, great, we'll do it for 15. So here's what I did with that property. I took 0 down, 0% interest. I turned around, I put it on Craigslist this morning, Craigslist. And I marketed on Craigslist as I said, $30,000 down, 7% interest, I will seller finance you. And I'm getting blown up in my emails right now. People saying, I want that property, I want that property, I want that property. So there's 1,000 different things you can do with these properties.
Yeah. And by the way, everyone listening can go learn how to do that too, because that's what you teach as well, right?
Yeah, that's what I teach. But forget about learning from me. Send me the damn deals.
Dude, you might get a lot of houses, but I don't think a lot of people with cockroaches are listening to this.
Maybe they aren't. Maybe, you know what? Everybody has hope, right?
I hope there's a lot of people.
And you know what? They may not have.
How about the people that are listening that aren't afraid to go in the neighborhoods where cockroaches roam?
That's it.
And knock on the
doors. Here's a great way to do it, right? So I just did a deal with a mom. She's a widow. Okay. Her husband was a police officer. He died in the line. She's got 4 kids. She joins my Astro flipping program. She comes to me and she says, Jamil, I got to make money. And I bought into this so that I can have proximity to you and learn how to do this. Can you help me? Absolutely. So I take her, we pull a list, a pre-foreclosure list. These are all the people that are in pre-foreclosure in our little county, right? And I said, okay, this is a list. This is the pitch. You're going to go up, you're going to knock on these doors. You're going to say, hi, I'm Melanie, and you're in foreclosure and the auction set for this date. What's your plan? And they're going to slam the door in your face, and some of them won't. The ones who won't, let them let you in. When you sit down, just ask them, what are they going to do? Do they have a plan? Because ducking your head in the sand isn't going to work, right? And the sheriff's going to come, they're going to kick your ass out, and all the fees, whatever equity you had in this house will be gone. And you're going to be out on the street, ass up. Or We can do a deal right now while you still have some time. I can get your foreclosure postponed. I can give you maybe $10,000 in your pocket so you can go rent a place, and you won't even have a foreclosure on your record. Are you interested in that? And the widow goes and does this. First day out knocking on doors, brings me a contract. I flip that contract, make 30 grand, and I gave her half.
Just
right?
like that.
In a day, dude.
What'd she do?
She cried. She cried and she's out. She went and bought some new Air Force Ones. She's been knocking doors ever since. It's a whole new lease for her, right? This is a widow, a mother of 4, a wonderful woman, right? Making $15,000 in a day. Come on,
man.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to give me a sound effect.
I forgot. I've been forgetting the bombs.
Thank you.
So now, after you started calling the people with the houses for rent, and you would say, "Hey, you want some cake for this?" and they started saying yes. How long did it take before it was like consistent? So
I went from, and I would probably do 3-4 deals a month like that on homes, but then I saw the next thing. Right, the next thing for me were apartment buildings. Because there was all this development happening where these developers were converting old apartment buildings into brand new condominiums. So they take these old ass dingy apartments, renovate them. They would separate the title from one title to 30 titles, right? They went from apartment to condo, and then they would sell the condos off. Now these developers, they're busy. They got buildings to convert. They don't got time to go out and find dingy old apartments. So I would find out who the acquisitions person was for each of these developers converting these condos, and I'd say, let me bring you the old ass apartment buildings. And they said, sure. So I drove around town looking for all the handwritten for rent signs on these dingy old apartment buildings, and I would call them. And lo and behold, they were normally self-managed. It was just the old ass owner answering the phone. Hello? And they'd be like, hi, I'm not calling to rent. Are you ready to die or sell? And then some of them would hang up and some of them would say, I'd sell. Then I'd go and meet them, and I'd find out from the developer, how much would you pay for this many doors, this many 2 bedrooms, this many 1 bedrooms, this much parking. I'd get all the parameters that they would need, and then I would go and I'd write a contract on that building. And I would sell those contracts for $100 grand, Brad. $100 grand.
Did you ever miscalculate?
I mean, yeah, you miscalculate sometimes and then you cancel. But that's why there's an inspection period. That's the purpose of an inspection period, so that you have due diligence, so that you know if your numbers are right or wrong.
What do you do to make sure your numbers are right?
You learn how to underwrite. I'm so glad you asked me this question, because this is what new wholesalers fail to do. I do a show on YouTube every Sunday. It's called Straight Outta Compton. And Compton, not Compton, Compton. I teach people how to comp properties. I'm going to show you how to figure out how much something is worth, whether it be an apartment building, whether it be a duplex, whether it be a house, whether it be whatever, land. I can show you how to evaluate that. And once you learn how to evaluate stuff, Brad, you got the gems. You got the keys to the kingdom now, because now you know what shit's worth. See, I don't know that I can flip a Ferrari F8 for $500 grand. You do. So you understand the value. Now, if I have access to a Ferrari F8 for $400 grand, and you know that you can sell it for $500 grand, we have an opportunity to make a deal. That's it. That's all this is.
But he needs to get it for MSRP.
Okay, well, we can do that.
Which if he can get an F8 for MSRP, I will buy it from him.
Well, Brad, you and I are going to make some money, because I got a Rolodex. I don't do stuff normal.
I could flip it to a dealer friend of mine and I don't even have to touch it. Cool. I can say, you will? Hey, how much you give me?
That's it.
Send it to him.
That's it. This is life. This is what Pace and I do all day. We trade houses like hockey cards, bro. Like, this is it. You got a contract? Let me see. I like that. No, sell it. Make 10 grand. Bro, I'm telling you, I bought a piece of land I wanted to build an Airbnb on. Okay? Over right by my house, little empty lot where I live in Arizona. I buy this empty lot, and I'm like, I'm going to build a nice little Airbnb on this thing. And I get my wife. I'm like, hey, start drawing up some plans. I want to do something modern, put a pool in there. My phone rings. Someone's like, hey, I saw you got this thing under contract. I was trying to buy it. The guy said no, that he already sold it to you, and he gave me your phone number. You want to sell it? I know who you are. I know you do this.
What'd you say?
I'm like, what do you want to pay for it? Well, I know you bought it for 160. What if I give you 180? I'm like, done. So I sold the piece. I forgot to tell my wife. So she's still drawing plans for the thing. And a couple days later, she's like, hey, look. I'm like, oh, sorry, I sold that shit. We already made 20 grand. But that's my life. I'm a wholesaler, dog. I don't want to hold anything.
So let me ask you a question. Let's say I've got 4 pieces of land in Peaksville, Alabama.
Yep.
And I own it right now, but I don't know where to sell it.
Well, I'll find you the buyer. That's what I do. My company, Keegley, we are a dispositions company. And every time I say it, it tickles you. But we're a dispositions company, right? Dispositions mean our job is to find buyers. That's where we invest our money.
Land out in the middle of the boondocks?
I mean, look, some of that shit's harder to sell. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I'm going to be able to find you a buyer, for where you buried that body. But I promise you that I can find a buyer for a house in like a normal, regular metro area, anywhere in the United States.
Even if it's just a flipper?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the miscalculations?
How many
times have you got cracked?
I mean, how many deals have I lost money on in the 5,000 plus houses I've done deals on? How many times have I lost money?
Well, probably not very many in that. No. But I'm talking about, because when I'm thinking through what you're talking about, I'm imagining me doing it. And then I think to myself, well, what if I say, okay, yeah, I'll take it at 320 and we sign the deal. And then I was wrong. It's not worth 320. I didn't know the fucking roof was fucked up. I didn't know there was termites. I didn't have any inspections done. I was screwed.
No, you weren't, because
turns out it's worth 200.
The contract I'm going to give you, and the contract that, hey, if any of you guys want access to this contract too, I'm not just going to give it to Brad. I'll give it to you too. Just hit me up. This contract has an inspection clause in it. 10 days. That's when you get to decide
how much you have to spend on all that
to run your numbers. I mean, it's up to you. If you're good at understanding how much things cost,
I got to hire everybody.
If you're going to have to, I wouldn't tell you to do that. I would show you how we can do that. Look, Pace has been a contractor how many years? So Pace went into a house with me in Atlanta. This is a true story. We walk into a house. It's a shithole. Okay. And he wanted to test me. I'm telling him, I can guesstimate how much the renovation on this house is going to be. Pretty close. You've been a contractor 10 years. You go and you calculate the door handles, the fucking granite, the paint, the carpet, the flooring, the electrical, all this shit. I'm taking one look at this house and I asked the seller, how many square feet is this house? They told me the number of square feet. Pace, this renovation is going to cost $35,000. I didn't tell him that yet. I told our people, Pace was in there doing his calculations. 15 minutes later, he comes out. It's going to be about $35,800. And here I holding up a piece of paper, says 35 grand. I'm like, I just saved a ton of fucking time.
I don't got to do that. How do you do that? You got a formula?
I got a formula, $1 per square foot, bro.
Hey, by the way, you and Pace are on a new show called
Triple Digit Flip.
Triple Digit Flip. Is that thing playing already?
Yeah, we're filming season 2 right now.
So you guys are like freaking reality TV stars.
Something like that.
If you're not already, because it just came out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where do people go watch that?
A&E. You can watch it on A&E, the cable. If you don't have cable anymore, you can get to the A&E app. They've got an A&E app. Also, it streams on Hulu.
How many A&E episodes have you done?
We have 10 episodes out already. Season 1 already aired. We're in the middle of shooting season 2 right now, and they've got plans to keep us for life.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
People are going to love you guys. So did you negotiate your digital rights to that show?
No. I mean,
Yeah, because listen, like I did a VT system one time with Buddy Velastro with Cake Boss, but like I forget who it was, Discovery or somebody that owned his show didn't know that he could go out and make millions and millions and millions from the notoriety of that show. Mm-hmm. But now the shows are smarter and they're like, you can't do anything without us.
Oh, no. So we had carve outs. But A&E is really, dude, they're not predatory, right? The production company we work with is First Class, 6 West, shout out, A&E, shout out. These guys were legit. Is this part of an episode? No.
You guys should have had this part of your damn episode.
We go out to New York City. They treat us like gods. Like they're royalty to us, man. They're so.
Cut. We're doing it again.
Let's go.
When are you guys filming next?
Tomorrow.
Oh shit! Should have waited till tomorrow. Dude, I want to go watch the show. A&E, what channel is that? Does anybody know? Probably different on all kinds of stations.
It's every city is A&E network. It's the same network. Why it's so cool to me to be on A&E, because I used to watch Chris Angel Mind Freak when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was on A&E.
I know Chris.
You do?
Yeah. My
Is that your bro?
Kids, no, my kids go to school with his kids. One day, my wife says we're going somewhere for the kids' party. And I go up there. I'm like, dude, this guy's spend a little dough on this party because he literally brought a fucking carnival, a circus, a fair to a neighborhood. I mean, it had full scale rides.
Did he make it disappear?
I'm like, holy shit. So I roll up and I'm get introduced to the little kid. How you doing? The wife. And then she says, "This is my husband, Chris." I'm like, oh, fucking Chris Angel. No wonder.
He's cool, dude.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
I was a big fan. You know, I'm still a big fan. He said he hasn't been around in a minute, but you know, that's what took me to A&E as a kid. You know, so I've got like fuzzy warms for A&E. They're good.
Well, dude, you guys are going to be like the is Pawn Stars the hottest reality that ever hit back in the day?
It's on History. I think it's one of those. They did a great job.
Made them zillionaires, didn't it?
Yeah.
Is that where you guys are going with that?
I have every intention.
So you're already making millions flipping houses.
Yes,
now
sir.
you get turned celebritized. Then the rest is just fun.
Well, look, I don't know if you've heard, but like we've been in Vegas for the last couple of days, right?
Yeah.
Pace yesterday was absolutely incredible on stage. 3,000 people. Clever Investor Summit. I had an opportunity to speak to, but I got to see my brother shine, you know, and this life that we're in right now, where we're helping people, building community, changing people's lives by giving them knowledge on how to find financial freedom. I mean, this is the shit, dude. Like,
that's right.
Forget TV. You know, forget TV. TV's fun and it's cool, right? But helping people.
Yeah, but TV is going to allow you to help a lot more people.
That's it, though, right? It's like you get more reach, and then you get more reach, you can build bigger communities. And I mean, look. Don't get me wrong. Whoever's listening to this, I love making money, but you know what else I love doing? Helping other people make money too. And when they make money and I make money, like that widow who got to make $15,000 selling me a house that I made $15,000 as well on flipping. I mean, to me, that's incredible. Her 4 little kids are now have a positive domino effect from something I know.
Yeah.
From something I taught their mom. And that's life.
Dude, I agree 1,000%. Earlier, I was telling somebody, you know, if I look back and I start thinking about how hard it was to like get where I got, I don't really think it was that hard because I don't focus on that shit. But there was some delays. But I discovered the one thing that I think was the catalyst when everything changed. And it went from because I was always focused on me. It was always about me. Then I decided to start helping other people. And that's when the money started rolling in. Now, if you think about that, if you just get up every day and just go try to help as many people as you can, money will always
find you. The universe doesn't do debt, Brad.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't do debt.
There's another poem for you.
When you put it in out there and you give it to people and you help people, it can't help but pay you back. It's like, wait, the balance sheet's not right here. The ledger is not right.
Is that why you called it Kegel?
And that is the show.
Dude, I don't even know when we started because on this roadcaster I forgot to hit record. That's just messing with you.
You're awesome, dude.
So now listen, you're out there on this show, but that's not your main thing. You're also showing people how to do it. I know you guys do Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Like, what's your main way to help the people figure out how to do this themselves?
I've got an incredible coaching community called Astro Flipping. If you've seen if you say Astro Flipping in the mirror 3 times, I'll show up. Really though. I believe it. It's a great community.
You are Indian.
Yes.
You look like a genie almost.
I am a fucking genie, dude. You didn't even know that. But like now that you've even
are you a genie?
Google my shit and I'm a blue genie, dog. I'm a genie. I'm a genie, man. I'm a wholesale genie. Did you tell him this?
Wholesale genie.
I'm the wholesale genie, homie.
I thought you were the godfather of wholesale.
Ad on social media is him dressing up as a naked.
Naked?
Yeah, so we go airports all over the country. People are like, oh, it's the blue genie.
That's great.
That's funny. So right now, if I were listening to this and I said, dude, I want to go do this.
Yeah.
Is the best. I don't want to DM you. Where do I go?
You can, honestly, DM me. You can DM me on IG, or you can go to www.astroflipping.com, or I think it's go.astroflipping.com. Yeah, go.astroflipping.com. And come check us out, or check me out on YouTube. Like, don't come and buy my shit yet. Date me. You know, come figure me out. Do you like me? You like my vibe? Do I make you laugh? Could you listen to me for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours?
Because if they can't, they're fucked.
Because if they can, then fuck off. Go to somewhere else.
Well, not only that, but they're not going to learn.
They're not going to learn. That's it. But like resonance, dude. Resonance. You know, you resonate with specific people.
That's true.
People get your heart. They like what you're about, and then they will do what you show them what to do. You know, I remember the teachers that I learned the most from college. They were the ones that I resonated with, and the classes that I screwed. They were the teachers that I just couldn't vibe with. I couldn't get into their electrons. You know, and so for me, I feel like come check me out. You know, I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm trying to change your life. And if you can't get with that, then I'm not for you. That's it.
Does it require a certain amount of dough to get started? At least a little?
Look, you mean my program or wholesaling?
No, like if I wanted to start wholesaling, I'm going to take your program. But I need a bunch of money to go out and start?
No, I mean, look, everything costs a little bit of money, right? Like you can't start your car without a little bit of money.
Because like when you use that example, you said, how about I give you 10,000 down, or I give you 10,000, you go rent yourself a place, and like you'd have to have 10,000 to start.
No, I'm the backer. Remember?
You're going to back them?
I'm the back. I'm literally ready to write checks for you guys. If you can get deals that that make sense, I will financially back you.
So basically, they're just running around trying to find the deals.
Yeah, bro.
And how many people you got doing that now?
I have 115 franchises across the United States. I have armies of people.
I wonder how many. I'd love to know how many.
I'd love to know how many. No, I don't.
We'll count them, because after this drops, I'll bet you it fucking doubles.
Yeah.
Huh? I bet you it doubles.
I love you, Brad.
I want to see it. I want to see it explode, dude. You might even see me in your army.
I want it.
Well, I just need to know what to look for. I didn't know to look for the shitball houses.
Yeah, bro. That's all we want.
And again, I'm not around a lot of shitball houses or anybody that lives in shitball houses. So how do you?
Look, you know how there's like 5 degrees or 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Sure,
you ever heard of that?
Everybody.
There's 5 degrees.
I called this side of my family, and we got some shitball house.
That's what I'm saying. There's 5 degrees to crack. You got 5 degrees to crack, bro.
I got 1 degree.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like you don't understand. Life happens. Life happens to so many people.
But usually those houses are usually rented. Like my family,
but somebody owns that.
Some of my family is renting those shitholes.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Somebody owns that.
How do you get a hold of the owner?
That's an easy thing. That's the part of what I teach, right? There's software out there where you can put an address into it, and they'll give you the guy's phone number, and then you call him, and you're like, "Do you realize I just drove by your house, right? And there's crackheads laying on your lawn right now."
Dude, we should do it. We should do an exercise. There's a house that's as you're driving up Eastern over here in Vegas, there's a brown house sits on a cliff. It's called Valhalla. You can actually look it up. It's a pretty famous house. It's called Valhalla. That's what they named it. I went there 3-4 times, like 3-4 years ago, and I couldn't ever get the dude to respond because I wanted to buy that house. Like, that's the fucking house I want. And we went by it, and it was clearly
vacant.
Dilapidating as we spoke. I mean, it was a beautiful home that was built, and it was just amazing. And you can see that it's falling apart. And I'm like, dude, the guy's got to sell it. Turns out it's a guy that lives in Utah. He's a polygamist and has multiple homes and never responds, does not want to respond to, I want to buy your house.
Until something in his life puts him in a situation where it's time.
Yeah, but how do we track that dude down and get me that house?
I can track the dude down, and then it's a matter of follow-up, right? So there's an interesting thing in our business. The money is not in the high, it's in the high again. Okay? I'll say that again. The money isn't in the high, it's in the high again. Because you're going to have to follow up with people. Right? Hi, it's Brad Lee. I want to buy your house. Fuck off, Brad. Great. I'll call you back in a month. Hey, it's Brad again. You ready to buy that house? You know what? Yeah, my 9th wife, I hate her.
Now it's time.
Now it's time. I want to sell that house.
You don't want to really kind of go after this if you want to live there. This is for flipping and
100%
getting cash flow, correct?
Yeah,
of course. Is that correct?
Yeah, not cash flow, but we're there. I mean,
but that's another mistake I always make. Like, again, I'm saying, hey, find me a house now, I'll fucking buy it. But not to rent it out. I'll just live there.
Yeah, no, you're looking at real estate the wrong way, brother.
I know.
He's talking with me?
Yeah.
Bro, I lived in a house.
Oh, yeah, he lives in a sub-2 mansion. He bought a mansion sub-2. That happens, and you can do that too. Look,
that's what I'm talking about.
Here's the thing, Brad.
I'll buy 10 of them.
You know what's funny about creative financing that Pace is really, really genius about? And if anyone is watching this and you didn't watch Pace's episode of Dropping Bombs, go watch it. Pace is incredible because pretty houses, they're so hard to finance. Like, you're a rich man. You show income. How fucking hard is it for you to get a mortgage, Brad? Really?
I haven't tried.
I'm telling you, it's hard. I'm a rich guy.
Is it hard?
I just bought a beach house in California and I felt like I got violated getting it. Okay. Right on the water in Marina Del Rey, beautiful home. And it was incredibly difficult to get a loan on it because I'm a self-employed person. I make millions of dollars a year and they're like, well, yeah, I can show them I can buy this fucker with cash, but I want a loan instead. That's how they are. So these pretty houses, these really expensive houses, they're harder for people to sell often because if they're a little bit distressed, if they're a little bit dated, then Brad Lee doesn't want to live there.
That's right.
Right? But what happens is somebody might be able to come in, take that house's mortgage over subject to, fix up the house, and then sell it on owner finance and sell it on terms. Now Brad Lee only has to come and put $200,000 down. Now Brad Lee wants to live there.
Hey, is that what you did with yours? Did you fix it up?
His house was in great condition when he moved in, but he did stuff, you know.
You guys can find Pace at Pace Morby. I didn't do a very good introduction. These guys are partners. You said, this is my best friend. Where'd you guys meet?
Yeah.
Just out of the blue?
Slid in. Yeah.
That's right. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
It
nowadays.
was, though. I mean, and the greatest, and we call, Pace said this to me the other night, and it really rang to me. And it's like the greatest collaboration that he's ever, of his life, and mine too. To be able to be walking around life with your best friend who's a giant in the industry. Myself, I look at him and I'm in awe of the things that he's able to accomplish and the way his mind works. He's a brilliant promoter. He's a brilliant investor. And I get to be around this guy all day long, right? And I get to share with him the things that I know and the things that I'm skilled at. And when we put those two things together and we share that information with the world, it's powerful.
You guys are like, it's like a Monopoly game for you almost.
100%.
You guys are playing Monopoly.
Yes.
In real life.
That's what it is.
Damn. Well, folks, if you haven't already been convinced and sold, you better fucking re-listen to this thing again. I need to put on my damn readers just to get to the fine print. Go.astroflipping.com if you want to get into that stuff, start learning. Go look at his YouTube. What's your YouTube?
Just youtube.com/Jamil Damji, and you spell that JAMILDAMJI.
Out of curiosity, why don't you go get like a website, a vanity website where you could, because like mine, go to bradley.tv.
Yeah.
It just redirects you to YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I've got...
But when you say YouTube, I got to go there, then I got to search. And right when I'm searching your name, I see a lot of other names. I might end up on someone else's page.
That's true. I mean, I do have jdamji.com. I don't know. It's a good point. Emily, do that.
That's a good, I'm telling you, because then when someone says, how do I see your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
You say jdamji.com. jdamji.tv.
Yeah.
Get the .tv because it goes with it.
Okay, I like it.
Anyway,
thanks for schooling me.
Dude, Instagram or any social media at jdamji, DAMJI. Glad you guys fucking came by today.
Bro, thank you for coming in on a Saturday and hanging out with me, man.
Dude, my pleasure. I'm glad I did. I'm sure my listeners was glad I did. Are glad I did. Till next time, kids, keep it real.
Every day you wake up, let me give you a little tip. First, brush your teeth. People are judging you. They look at you and they think, oh, God damn. And not only that, dude, when you got a bunch of teeth missing, go to the freaking dentist and get it done. By applause, who gets up at 9 a.m.? Stupid.